can I actually get to do jazz hands today? So let's see.
Jazz hands are.
Kevin, can you do jazz? These are jazz hands right here. This is what you're not. Oh, you're protesting jazz hands, Kevin?
No, I'm just saying we can't rope a dope. You got
okay, you can rope a dope. Go ahead, rope a dope. There you go.
Okay.
There's Kevin, rope a dope.
Think he's out when in doubt.
Okay, there we go. Mac, even Military Arms Channel is doing jazz hands. Thanks for participating. We are live. Welcome back to the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. That's what's going on right here. Live from the Big Daddy Gun Studios. We are on Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded, which is the B channel, because YouTube has struck us down from the heavens above, and we are no longer allowed to broadcast live on the regular channel. So over here on the B channel, thanks to everyone who's joining us. Please hit the thumbs ups. We need those thumbs up. Let's get as many of them going as we possibly can. Tonight, I think this is episode 126. Tonight, we're going to talk about SHOT Show news and rumors. And actually, more importantly, we're going to talk about what's going on with the ATF and bump stocks and all that kind of stuff. So we got Mac to come in and talk to us about that. Thanks for coming in, Mac.
Mr. Political, right? It's like,
yeah. Are you tired of talking about this yet? Or
you know what? I'm not, man. What I'm tired of is apathy in our community, man. It's like everybody just thinks that nothing's happening, and everybody wants to talk about SHOT Show and the coolest new toy. And what they don't realize is ATF, come January 25th, is about to pass a rule that will quite literally, with the next anti-gun administration, allow a president to sign an executive order directing the ATF to ban just about anything they want, from Geisley triggers to, 30-round magazines, all based upon ATF's proposed rule change of amending the Gun Control Act and the NFA to say all rate increasing devices are subject to NFA regulations. And nobody's doing anything about it. And this all started with the NRA and their response after Vegas. Within 2 days, NRA said, this is ATF's problem. They should fix it. They should ban them. And now that's exactly what's happening. And thanks to the NRA, we're about to have Canadian-style gun laws here in the United States, and nobody seems to know or care. To that end, before we get too far into it, I'm trying to set it up that I have a former ATF employee that headed the rules branch that writes rules, and he's going to talk about just how dangerous what it is that they're doing is, and what a sham the comments period is. Dangerous what they're proposing is in terms of our gun rights, because he's shocked that nobody seems to be talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, so like, why is this so bad? Who's gonna say something good? Who's that? Kevin? Or is it Walter? Who's gonna say something?
I was listening. I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, why do we have such a low level of apathy? Why do people really believe that all the stuff that we really like right now, all the things we're excited about, this trigger, this gun's coming out, that thing, why do we really believe that a couple of months from now, a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, we won't wind up in this situation?
Well, here's what's wrong. What a lot of gun owners don't know, they seem to think that the Republicans are our friends. And what many people don't know is that many of the worst anti-gun laws that we live under were given to us by Republicans. Reagan gave us the Hughes Amendment that took away machine guns. Bush 41 gave us the import ban of '89. Of course, then Clinton, the Democrat, gave us the crime bill, but at least it sunset. What the Republicans have done to us have never sunset. And right now in Congress, according to my sources on the Hill, it's not even the Democrats pushing for this change, this rule change at ATF. It's Republicans like Carbello. Now, we shut him up. His office, ironically, called my gun shop and wanted to talk to me because their phones were blowing up, and I was getting emails from my viewers saying they're just hanging up the minute they say that the Military Arms Channel click. And, and so then they called my gun store wanting to talk to me, and I just told my guys, tell them I don't talk to traders.
Yeah. And they should have just hung up on them too.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But ironically, I saw a post. One of my fans sent me a screenshot of something NRA posted on their Facebook page, claiming victory for shutting Carbello down, and I just chuckled. It's like, the NRA did so much there. They did nothing. They're wanting this to happen, and I had a short, brief, 5-month window into NRA because they really courted me. They wanted me to bring me on board, and I've hated them my entire life. but they had a new president coming on board, Pete Brownell, who's a very good guy and has nothing to do with what's broken with the NRA. He's actually trying to fix it. Sadly, the presidency and the board of directors has absolutely no power in the NRA, and that's the dirty little secret. But they brought me in just long enough for me to see all the champagne and caviar, highly expensive parties, lavish parties, all the people running around in Armani suits and waiters catering.
Yeah, you went to the nice dinner.
Yeah, I went to the president's reception. I got to see that they probably spent, $10,000 in parties at the NRA show. They fly around in private jets. They pay themselves extremely extravagant salaries. They've built a temple to themselves in VA, the headquarters. It's ginormous, and and that's where your money's going. And NRA is in the business of keeping everybody scared. They make these backroom deals. In one hand, they're saying, look what we're doing, guys. We're saving your gun rights. We do all this great stuff to protect you. You wouldn't even be able to own a gun if it wasn't for us and what we've done. And then in the back rooms, they're making deals to get these little incremental gun laws passed so that they can come back and go, guys, the boogeyman's here and he's going to come take your guns. What the general public doesn't see is the NRA is creating the boogeyman. They're a corporation that exists solely to make money. And that's evident in everything that they do when you take a look at how much they pay themselves, the amount of money they spend on parties and nonsense like that. And the fact that the board is a placebo, the membership thinks that they control the NRA through the board. The board has no say in what Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox do. Those two run the entire organization. They're elected. They're not elected. They're employees. And they do whatever the hell they want. And they basically tell the board to go pound sand.
Yeah, it's worse than our two-party political system, which is pretty bad.
It's worse than that. After the revolt in Cincinnati, NRA created a board with 76 members. Amolan ran an article from Marion Hammer, the former president of the NRA, who one of her private emails got leaked out by one of her staffers that's actually pro-gun. And it got posted on Truth About Guns and some other places, where she said that the ATF never wanted us to have machine guns, and that they were shocked and dismayed beyond belief that ATF allowed bump stocks to be legal. That's your NRA, guys. Yeah. And they posted.
Wayne LaPierre said the same thing when they were interviewing him. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just staggering, and yet they have the fanboys that simply will not let go. And I say, guys, the only way to stop the NRA's nonsense and to bring them back into line to where they actually fight for our rights is to defund them, take their money away. But what people also don't understand is that their membership dues is a small fraction of the actual revenue that comes into them. The next step, when this happens on January 25th and everybody wakes up and goes, oh my gosh, how did this happen? Nobody told me, because nobody's talking about it. The next step is just organize boycotts against companies that fund the NRA. There's companies out there that give hundreds of thousands of dollars to the NRA so that they can get their stupid little awards at the NRA national conventions and get their articles written in the American Rifleman. And that's where the real money is. If we attack those companies and boycott them that support the NRA, that is working behind the scenes to actively pass gun control laws so that they can create fear mongering and create all this concern so that it can keep dunning you for money and filling your mailboxes and emails with, endless requests for send us money or else we're all going to lose our guns. Yeah. And they're going to take that money and then they're going to go and you should know something like with this bump stock ban. It's so funny. The NRA happens to be in the exact same, with NICS Fix, which I call the expansion of the NICS harassment system. NRA is saying it's just reasonable to expand NICS, guys. It's only reasonable. I used to be one of those people that got delayed every single gun purchase. I had a de facto waiting period, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm nothing. I had a high-level security clearance in the past. I have a clean record. I don't even have a speeding ticket. But I kept getting delayed on every single gun purchase to the point where I had to get a U-pin before I got an FFL. And what this NICS Fix, which is going to fund the NICS system even more, so it's going to capture even more military veterans that have been singled out by it. It's going to capture even more people where it has a 90% failure rate or false positive rate. So here at the gun shop, everybody that gets delayed tonight, about 98% of them are able to come and get their guns later after the waiting period. And NRA is pushing for some unknown reason. Nobody's even asking for it, but NRA is pushing for the NICS Fix and they're working with Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi. Anytime the NRA is on the exact same side of the argument as Feinstein, Schumer, and Pelosi, don't you think something's broken?
Yeah, we're screwed. So we're screwed at that point.
Yeah. And so what we got to do, guys, is start telling people, I back the GOA, but look at SAF, look at the National Organization of Gun Rights, look at any other group. We need to build one up to have the power, and GOA is the closest, and they're certainly the most active. We got to build up another pro-rights gun group. In the meantime, to fix NRA, we've got to fund them. We got to take away their members, and then we got to take away all those big money donors from manufacturers that they basically, it's an extortion system. If you don't get in our good graces, you don't get coverage in our magazines, and you don't get awards at our shows, and your products don't get, you know, put up on a pedestal for everybody to race out and buy. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And trying to convince somebody that's grown up around the NRA, like, oh man, I'm NRA, I got the sticker, man, yeehaw, it's on the back of my pickup truck, I'm NRA, and it's like Packers versus Bears. You're never going to go to a Bears fan and say, hey man, let's become Packer fans. They would rather die. It's the same thing with NRA versus GOA or any other gun rights organization, man. They don't care. They don't. It's not what NRA does. NRA's brand. It's like Harley Davidson. They're hunks of crap. They're horrible motorcycles by modern standards, but people love them because of the branding and the lifestyle image. And it's the same thing with NRA. They're hunks of crap, but people love them because of their branding and lifestyle. Their marketing firm is amazing at promoting them. And, you know, meanwhile, we're losing our rights incrementally. And every single major anti-gun law that has passed, every single one of them, from the Gun Control Act of 1934 to the Gun Control Act of 1968 to the Clinton crime bill ban, right up to the Hughes Amendment, everything else, all has the NRA's fingerprints all over it. They have been behind or working with the anti-gunners in every single piece of legislation that has passed, and yet nobody ever called them out on it.
Yeah,
and they do get called. Oh, you're just a show for GOA, or you're just a basher. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. All of this is going on. What is NRA's position on what's happening right now? They're pretty quiet.
They've gone silent.
Yeah,
they've gone silent. And you know, one thing that happened after Vegas that they learned a very hard lesson, because a lot of us in social media became very vocal, and we all quite publicly dumped the NRA, was when after the Vegas tragedy, you know, NRA came out and said anything that increases the rate of fire should be subject to the NFA, and everybody got mad, rightly so. And that's how this whole thing got thrown over to ATF. It should have been handled legislatively. We would have beat it very, very easily. It never would have went anywhere. But no, they insisted, and people like James Yeager are out there saying, no, NRA's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. Well, their checkers game is just about, it was going to earn us Canadian-style gun laws. But yeah,
what I'm seeing is amazing, and that I cannot believe that I'm actually witnessing so many people that are looking at all of this, and they're seeing that, oh no, this is all going to be good. They're just going to get rid of bump stocks. Nobody likes those. They're never
right.
They're not going to go after triggers or anything else out there.
No.
You know,
so,
why do people believe that? Like, what's making people think that this is not a big deal?
So the anti-gunners have learned from past lessons, right? So anytime there's a national tragedy in the past, you would see Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, you know, the usual cast of characters jump in front of the first camera, standing on the dead bodies with the bill that they've written 10 years ago. They keep dusting it off and saying, look, we need to ban everything that, you know, is semi-automatic and anything that looks funny. And people, they've learned from those mistakes, and now what they're doing is a slightly different tactic. Now what they're trying to do is not be honest about what they're doing, and they're trying to do things like, oh, all we really want to do is ban bump stocks. But when you look at the regulation that the ATF has proposed, it's right on their website. If you look at the regulations they've proposed, what they're saying is we want to ban anything that is a rate increasing device. How nebulous is that? What's a rate increasing device?
Everything.
That's what this ATF guy is going to tell us. It's everything. It's open-ended. It's worse than the Gun Control Act of 1968 under the Sporting Purposes Clause. If you take a look at what ATF has done to us with the Sporting Purposes Clause, they banned the Glock 42 from import for years. They finally had to make it in the United States. Why? because it didn't meet the sporting purposes clause, because the ATF just has the ability to make up rules without any oversight. Just make up rules. They say, okay, a gun has to be a certain size and weight to be importable and to be sporting. We can ban AK barrels or FNFAL barrels or any milsurp barrels from import because those barrels aren't sporting because they were installed on a machine gun at one time. How arbitrary is that? It's like taking an AK barrel out of a gun in Romania and sticking it in a semi-automatic AK in America makes it a machine gun? No. All that's designed to do is to harass people. Yeah. And that's what ATF is doing. They're writing an open-ended rule, so when Oprah Winfrey or Hillary Clinton or whatever Democrat gets into office next time that's staunchly anti-gun, with a stroke of a pen and an executive order, they can say, under this new regulation, under the any device that increases the rate of fire provision of the rewritten Gun Control Act 1968 and the NFA, ban magazines that hold more than 5 rounds because it increases the rate of fire for a firearm, or ban Geisley 3-gun triggers, or ban JP Enterprises match triggers because they're only 2 pounds with a short reset, and you can shoot those as fast as you can as a machine gun. That's what it does. It leaves the door wide open for future administrations to grossly abuse it. And if they don't believe that that's possible, just look at the Gun Control Act of 1968. It's been grossly abused to take all sorts of things away from us incrementally over the years.
Right. So let me, because I know that we've got a lot of people that are in the chat that want to ask questions. I don't know if anyone here on the panel wants to ask a question of Mac before we get into it. Does anyone want to ask anything here in this regard?
I'm good.
Kevin?
I think that the information, actually, I commented on this. I think it was Monday. I said, I believe that Mac has spies in the government because you seem to get ahead of things really quick. Always on time. I would say that it's interesting to answer your original question of why I think guys are lackadaisy when it comes to getting involved in rights. Whether you agree or disagree, even the conversation is good to have. But I think because people get really focused on the objects, the enjoyment of shooting, the enjoyment of enjoying the sport or hunting or whatever you do with them, I think get so focused on that get into the political realm doesn't have the cool factor. It's like you actually have to think, you have to fight, you have to have harsh conversations because you might feel one way, I feel another way, but when we go shoot guns, we just have fun. So I don't think it's cool to conversate about. So that's why I think a lot of guys can just ignore it. And then people, I believe personally, always rely on someone else to do it.
Yes. Yep. Somebody else carries your water. I don't want to do it. I'll pay NRA $25. I'll pay GOA $20, and they'll do all the fighting for me. I don't have to do anything else. I've done my job.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's where you lost right there. If you I always tell people, never, ever believe in your life anybody else is going to save you.
But you know what?
No person that can save you.
Mac, I've always wanted to ask this question. And you know what, man, humbly, I respect your knowledge on the subject. So I'm going to ask you, where historically, if you can educate me, where historically did we start believing that if you're a Republican, you're pro-gun and there is no debate to have about that? Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea, because like I said earlier in the broadcast, the Republicans are responsible for just about every gun law that's a gross infringement on our Second Amendment rights. Like I said, President Reagan gave us the Hughes Amendment, but that's also partially the NRA's fault, right? The NRA took the FOPA, which was the Firearm Owners Protection Act, to President Reagan. The Democrats had inserted what was called a poison pill, which was the Hughes Amendment that said that it would ban all machine guns. So FOPA itself was a good law, but the poison pill was really, really bad, but nobody seemed to care. And the NRA, I still have the cover, and I can share it with you guys. I still have the covers before the American Rifleman of the publication that NRA had back in the day that said Wayne LaPierre and all these guys will immediately challenge the Hughes Amendment in court. It will never stand the test of court. It's wholly unconstitutional. So we urged President Reagan to sign this bill into law, and we'll fight it later in the courts. And guess what NRA did? Absolutely nothing. They never filed one amicus brief. They never filed one lawsuit. They never filed anything. They did nothing to undo the Hughes Amendment. 30 years later, people have just come to accept it. It's people. And what's funny, not funny, but what's sad is after Vegas, it was mostly Republicans pushing for bump stock bans and pushing for all this other stuff. The Democrats were too, but the Republicans were even louder. So I'm not sure where this paradigm shift came, where at one time that. I think the problem, man, is people that every line, and a lot of votes in the Congress are straight down party lines. But the reality is, I would say a good portion of my audience that watches my channel are pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, but also identify as Democrats. And it's not you know, a Democrat versus Republican thing. They're both dirty. So when people say, when they ask me, hey Mac, you know, what party do you affiliate with? I don't affiliate myself with any party. In the state of Indiana, you have to declare a party just to vote in the primary. So I picked Republicans. Yeah. But I'm not a Republican. That's just so I can vote in the primaries. Then when I vote in the general election, you know, I'll vote for whomever. But we're always given two choices.
Yeah, it's the same thing here in Florida. It's the same thing in Florida. I'm actually registered as a Democrat in Florida. Lola went and switched to independent and then found out the hard way that if you're independent, you can only vote for an independent if they're running. So basically, most of the time she can't. Yeah, most of the time she can't even vote in the primaries. And I'm like, okay.
It's a sham designed to screw with the elections. And Kevin, back to your point, man, I don't know where people got the notion that Republicans are pro-gun and Democrats are anti-gun. I mean, generally speaking, there are more Democrats in Congress, not as the people, but in Congress that are anti-gun, that always vote party line against guns or for gun control. And generally speaking, Republicans typically vote pro-gun, you know, against gun legislation in Congress. But in the real world where you and I live, just out here going about our daily lives, it's not down party lines, man. Democrats and Republicans are gun owners. I meet Democrats every single day in my gun store. And, you know, it's not down party lines. It's just down party lines in the halls of Congress and the Senate. And where people got the notion that Republicans are going to save them, I've been yelling since the Trump election that if you think the Republicans are going to save you, you're in for a disappointment. So the gun culture as a whole, once Trump got elected, so we got Republicans in the White House, we have the Republicans in control of the Senate, we have Republicans in control of the House. Gun owners are lulled into thinking, oh man, I haven't got to do nothing, man. Pop a beer, football's on. I don't have to do jack. I can just kick back and do nothing because I'm safe for 4 years. And then when the next, you know, Clinton or Obama gets into office and they're anti-gun, then they run out and panic buy. But in the meantime, right now, when presumably we have home court advantage and we could press the issue and we could take this opportunity to turn back some of the anti-gun laws, gun owners sit on their fat butts and do jack. I don't want to cuss, but they don't do anything.
Yeah, and we should never
let they coast for 4 years and then panic when a Democrat gets in office.
Yeah, we should never let the law get created in the first place. You know, never let it get created in the first place.
Right, and it's just, I would say the vast majority of gun owners are simply apathetic. You have the FUDs that have the shotgun that comes out once a year to go deer hunting. That comprises a large portion of the shooting community. You have the black rifle tactical community, the personal defense community, the law enforcement community that tend to be a little bit more active politically. The folks that watch YouTube videos about guns tend to be a little bit more politically active versus other people that just, you know, get their American Rifleman from the NRA and read a couple of articles while they're on the pooper and, you know, throw it in the garbage. Those guys don't tend to do a whole lot of anything. What we need to do is make gun owners, you know, wake them up. We have a very, you know, social media has changed things considerably. NRA used to be able to sit out there and tell their lies, and people bought them because nobody could challenge them because they had no way to get their voices heard. Social media has changed that. You know, you, me, Guns and Gear, you know, Iraq veteran, and you know, anybody, Yankee Marshall, just name any gun tuber. Collectively, we can tell our communities, guys, NRA screwing us again.
Yeah.
And you know, and since Vegas, this comes from a source inside NRA. Since Vegas, they've lost almost 1 million members.
The NRA.
Yeah, the NRA. Has lost almost 1 million members. When it just broke, and I was at the Iraq veteran shoot, we were all there. They were down about 400 and some odd thousand members. People were calling in, canceling their memberships, and they hate us. They absolutely hate us to the point where NRA has actually gone out there and tried to call up companies and burn me in the industry, saying if you even talk to the Military Arms Channel guy, You're no longer in our good graces. We don't care how much money you give us. I immediately called Chris Cox and I said, you better stop your nonsense. So you think?
I think you should start naming names. If companies actually do that to you, we would like to know who the hell those companies
No company's taking them up on it. They've called me. They're on my side. And when I called Chris Cox on it, he insisted it wasn't his office doing it. But
we know it happened.
Spies, and I know through channels that because a lot of people within our NRA that do agree with us. I do have spies everywhere that feed me information, and you know, it was Chris Cox's office doing it, and they stopped it. But you know, we can't let this happen. As a matter of fact, I called NRA when this comment period started with the ATF, and I said, guys, I'm just telling you right now, if you think after Vegas was bad, I'm going to reach out to every one of my friends in social media. I am going to urge them to you know, deny you members, to talk about what you've done here, and I will do everything and I can. I'll start a GoFundMe. I will get constitutional attorneys. I will challenge it in the courts, and I will make it very public. And I will do everything I can to burn you to the ground, to make you feel the pain for what you've done here. And I said, take that all the way up to Chris and Wayne, because I will do everything I can to make you hurt even more if you don't stop this anti-gun BS. And that's, I think some of that, I can't take all the credit, but social media as a whole has put enough pressure on NRA where they've gone radio silent on the whole issue.
Yeah, I think that they realize, first of all, if any company actually does that, I would definitely like to know about that so I can talk about that company every day.
Yeah, thank you, man. No companies, I get companies calling me that were telling me, saying, this is what's going on, man. I think you should be aware. You've really, you know, pissed off some big people. And I said, good, glad to hear it. Thanks for letting me know. You know, I'm not scared of the NRA. I'm not scared of anybody. I mean, my wife is freaking out, thinking that, you know, some guys in a black limousine and black suits with masks are going to come up and shoot me in the back of the head because I won't shut up. But we all have to take a stand. What's that?
You have a Clinton suicide?
Yeah, I'll just wind up dead, you know, underneath a tree with no blood puddle.
No, we don't want that. We definitely do not want that. But listen, I know it's a real thing that companies do. You know, companies try to use their leverage against us. It's happened to me. It's happened to me recently. So companies try to do this to people to shut up our voice. Ultimately, what this all means to me is freedom. So there's no way in hell that I would go for that. And if these guys actually decided to do something like that to you, I think they'll probably be signing their own death warrant, to be honest with you. Because if the community found out about that, they're done. I don't care.
I don't think that's an issue. That was months ago after Vegas. It all stopped when I called them on it. They realized I knew what they were up to. I'm just more worried about NRA pushing this through backroom deals for whatever reason to get this ruling handed down, because I guarantee you, for them, it's a cash cow. If they can get the ATF to make this determination, to redefine what a semi-automatic is, it's a cash cow for them, because I'll guarantee you they'll start sending out blast emails saying, you're about to lose your gun rights if you don't send us money. And that's been their MO for
Walter, you still eating? Really? Seriously? Can you mute your microphone until you're done?
Must be good, man.
No, whatever Walter's eating has got to be delicious. Share it.
You're the one that told me to get the good mic, so it's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
want me to dominate the conversation.
No, no. Let's. If anyone has any questions here on the panel, definitely let me know right now. I'm trying to see if there's any questions coming in from people.
I got
in the chat.
One I've been getting asked about. So it's about my attire today.
Oh, because you're dressed up all in Glock?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a man of men, and I lost a bet. So
oh, you know, that's interesting.
So Mac, the thing, I'm an HK guy, right? So I am but I you know, I respect every quality firearm. I do. And I respect Glock, hence I have the apparel. But the deal was, in a basketball game, if I lost, that I had to sit and I had to wear Glock and I had to say these lines. Real men shoot Glocks. Right? I've done it. I've done my part. I've done my thing. I'm over. It's good. I've done it. Now I got to change clothes.
Yeah, I can't believe.
There you go.
And someone wants to know if Mac is an HK fan.
I like HKs, man. The only HK I ever had an issue with was the VP9 bet. I ran the gauntlet test on the HK45, and holy cow, that thing is unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
I love the LRP. I love the MR762A1. It's a great rifle, extremely accurate. I've been a fan of HKs forever. You grab the P7, yeah.
Check this one out. This belongs to Tony from Big Daddy Guns, the boss man.
Is that an 8 or yeah? It's an 8.
Is it a no? I think it's a P7 M8. Yep.
The M8. I have a. I just came into possession of an M13 at a really good price.
Oh, okay. I think Walter's looking for one of these. I don't know if he's muted right now or not, but if you do come across one, you're looking for one, right, Walter?
Possibility.
Yeah, if it's the right price. Yeah. Don't worry, Mac will take care of you. Mac will. Mac, give him the Hank Strange. Give him the Hank Strange discount.
Double normal price.
Yeah. Mark it up 15%. Gotcha.
Yeah, mark it up and then mark it down. Yeah. So, but the VP9 didn't really even work for me. That like I wasn't able to get locked back and all that kind of stuff, you know. But that's my big experience with HK. The thing really for me with HK, and I like a lot of guns that they make. However, for me, at least from my point of view, doing what I'm doing, every time I've spoken to the people at HK, they keep telling me how they don't give a crap about the civilian market. I know that they changed their tune about a year or 2 years ago, but for the most part, I would just get that message until I got sick of it.
HK doesn't care about the consumer market. They really don't. They're all about military law enforcement sales.
Well, how do you think that's going to affect them now that some of those contracts have been going away? Like that's why they're starting to court the market. People think that HK USA is this big entity, and it's really not. It's just a handful of people here. It's an import business. HK is based in Germany, and the Germans don't understand the U.S. market. The Germans build guns that you need. They don't care what you say you need. They build guns that you need. And if you say, hey, I would like to see this change, the Germans will say, you stupid American, you don't know what you're talking about. Here's your gun, go use it. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. So is that why we get what we get with Glock?
Well, Gaston Glock is another,
exactly why you
grilling a-hole. I mean, look what has Glock done in 30 years? They're a one-trick pony. They've made one gun with all the capital they've generated, all the money they've amassed, and all they do is just keep shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic as it slowly sinks. They're losing market share every day to better guns, and they won't come out with anything new. They launched the new Glock 19. Oh my God, the 19X, how wonderful. They put a 19 slide on a 17 frame. The fanboys rejoice. It's like, yeah, Colt did that back in the 50s after World War II. I'm gonna make a video about it. I got a Glock 19 coming in, an X, and the combat commander was a shortened slide on a full size frame. It's not a new concept. Glock just invented nothing again, but the fanboys love it, and they rip on me because I make fun of it. I would have loved it if Glock would have just made it the true MHS program gun. I truly would have wanted one because of the external safety. I wanted to see how they did that. But what they did is they just took a bunch of parts and slapped them together. They already had painted at FDE and said, here you go, this is the MHS gun, when it's nothing like the MHS gun.
Hank, how many times have I said that? If they would have put the manual safety on the side, I would have totally bought it just because of its unique factor.
Exactly.
Right, 19X.
No. It's a fake gun. It's like buying an airsoft toy of the real thing. It's not even the MHS program gun. If they would have released the actual MHS program gun, I probably would have bought 2 of them. Yeah, just for collector's value.
But maybe they thought they would lose the Glock fanboys if they put a safety on a Glock. And then also all these authors who write stories and make movies where Glocks have safeties,
you can actually have it now.
They would be proven right.
Yeah, I know. Why would that hurt their sales? They have at least 150 different SKUs of the exact same handgun, just in different caliber, sizes, and shapes. I mean, they launch a Gen 5, and all it is an amalgamation of a Gen 1, Gen 2, and a Gen 3. When they brought out the Gen 3 pistol, the perfection was putting finger grooves on it. And then to perfect upon perfection, in the 5th Gen, they took them off.
They went backwards. Yeah, they went backwards. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're just shuffling the chairs on the Titanic as it's slowly sinking, as they're losing market share, and they're going, "Oh my gosh, M&P's taking market share. You got CZ really competing with them now. You got Beretta competing with them now. Everybody makes a polymer frame striker fired pistol. They're losing market share every single day, And their response is let's call it a Gen 5 and do a big marketing push, and we'll sell some more guns to the same people that have been buying our guns for 30 years. They're not expanding their market. They're just selling, you know, a guy that has 20 Glocks now has 21, the Gen 5, which is no different than the other guns he owns.
This was a really bad day to lose that bet.
But the funny thing is, guys, the funny thing is that entire rip on Glock, I actually think they're a good gun, right? It's not a bad gun. It's just they're one-trick ponies.
You know, what do you think about this one? Is all modded up, Tim. This is the G40 10 mil guy. What do you think about him?
10 mil though.
So yeah, 10 millimeter, it's automatically sold to me.
Exactly.
If it's 10 millimeter, I want it.
Are you serious?
I don't care if it's a high point. If it's a 10 millimeter, I want it.
So you like the high point carbine then, the new one?
Shoot it.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. People were saying that, oh, you can't put a 10 millimeter. That's a good looking gun, by the way, my friend. Some people were saying about the Ruger PCC9, and I said in my video, Ruger, awesome. You can change the bolt face out on it. You got changeable mag welds, awesome. Make it in 10 millimeter. We had guys saying you can't make a straight blowback 10 millimeter. I'm like, really? High Point does it? They're doing it with Z-Mac. if you can make a 10 millimeter blowback with Z-Mac, you can actually make it out of good steel and make it work.
Yeah, I try to say to people that it's amazing High Point is making one.
I know, right?
I think that's amazing. Yeah.
When they say you can't make a 10 millimeter blowback, say Oerlikon. That's a 20 millimeter blowback.
Okay, that's some stuff that only you and Mac know. What the hell is Oerlikon?
What is that?
It's like the machine guns you see on the deck of a boat shooting 20 millimeter. A lot of times that's an Oerlikon.
Oh,
and that's a blowback gun with a big ass spring in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All you need is a bunch of mass and a big heavy ass spring.
More metal.
Yeah.
Yep, mass is metal. You need mass and a big spring. That's all you need.
You know, that's my plan most of the time, but most of the things I do.
Bigger nail, bigger hammer.
Mass and a big spring.
Somebody made a real good comment. That would be interesting. What if we got the FNX Tactical in 10 mil?
I would shoot the hell out of it.
That would be
Yeah,
I would have it. Dude, if it's in 10 millimeter, I want it. Like I said, even a High Point.
I can't believe. Okay, so how many 10 millimeters do you have, Mac?
I don't know. Do people how many guns do you own? I don't know.
But I
have no idea.
Hank, how many bullpups do you own? I think it's the same. It's the same line. If it's a bullpup, you're gonna own it.
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you what, Hank, if you come up, I'll show you the gun room. It's not a safe. It's a room. I'll show you. Yeah, I've been collecting for 30 years, and I'm just bad about it, man. I can't trade sell anything, and I have to own as much as I can get my hands on. So I'll. You know.
What you're saying sounds totally sane to me. So
right,
there's no excuses. Is there a cot in the gun room? Is there a cot in there? That's what I want to know.
No, but you know, you'll buy, beg, and still get money to buy whatever the next greatest thing is. You know, I always say I love my mom, and for $100 you can love her too. You know. It's like
all right.
I'm glad my mom doesn't use the internet because
yeah. Are you ready to die? Are you ready to die? Yeah. So okay, you have a lot of 10 millimeter. I don't even have one at this point. I was gonna make the High Point carbine my first 10 millimeter.
Do it, man. That would be an awesome video.
Well, because
it doesn't get enough love.
But you know someone's gonna make a bullpup kit for that, right? That was my reasoning.
They have to.
You know, that was my reasoning behind it. I'd be like, I could have the first 10 millimeter bullpup.
Yeah, like the CMMG Guard, man, and 10 millimeter. That's a cool little gun. There's so many companies coming out with 10 millimeter, and 40 Smith & Wesson's finally going away, thank God. Because and the only reason I get mad at 40 Smith & Wesson, it's not that it's an ineffective cartridge. Yeah, it's a fine defensive cartridge. The problem is the FBI had a bunch of Nancys that couldn't handle 10 millimeters, so they came up with a 40 Smith & Wesson. So their Nancy agents could actually shoot the gun and hit the target.
Yeah. So
Nancy's, I like it.
Well, yeah, you know, you got to make sure that you equally piss off everyone.
Oh, I don't hold back.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of it when they say, "Oh, you're just a paid shill." I'm not sponsored by anybody. Paid shill. It's like companies cringe when they find out I get one of their guns. They'll actually email me and say, "Hey, we saw on Instagram you picked up one of our guns. If you need anything, let us know." I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's code. That's code word.
No, like,
please don't torture test.
Like when I did the RP9, right, and I was having all those problems, immediately got a phone call from Remington after I posted the video, and they said, "We really like to send you another gun." I said, "Don't worry about it. I don't need one. I just ordered another one through RSR." And they're like, "Damn it," because they're going to try to send me a hand select gun that, of course, would work, right?
Yeah.
I don't play that, man.
No, that's people's. And I don't know if people know this about you. You've told me before. Like, it was a big deal, and you were able to get whatever guns you wanted before this, but it was really a big deal for you to get your own store, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a big move. I mean, for you know, over 20 years, I worked in an executive job. I was a VP, made lots of money, which funded my gun collection. I was single. I didn't get married till late in life and had kids, so I had plenty of time and money to amass quite the gun collection. Now, as a YouTuber and a gun shop owner in a down market, I'm actually feeling the pinch, right? But you know,
good timing.
Yeah, but fortunately, I have enough guns where I have content to last me for a couple of years until, you know, hopefully this market turns around.
Yeah, first of all, I think do what you love, but on top of that, I think that it's great for someone like you to own a gun store. I know people from probably all over the country reach out to you to buy guns. I've had friends go to you to buy stuff. So.
Oh, they do. And you know what, man, it means so much to me. Not only that, you know, we keep an open storefront. It actually costs us more to do it because most of our sales are online. But we do it because every single day fans come in from all over the country and even the world. And, you know, like I had some guys that went to a electronics show in Vegas. They're from China. They bought their own plane ticket, flew to Chicago, rented a car, drove over here just to see the store, had no idea I'd be here. And the guys, you know, call me on the phone and they, you know, can you come and say hi? We always do. I mean, if I'm at lunch and they call me and say, you have a fan in the store, I'll stop eating and drive to the store to say hi. And so I go down, there's a couple of guys from China, and we started talking. And I said, you guys really came all the way from Las Vegas from a trade show, flew to Chicago, rented a car, all the way over here just to see the gun store. We're going to lunch. And I took them to lunch. They simply couldn't believe it. I said, what do you want to eat? They go, we hear that, you know, your buffalo wings are really good. I got the perfect joint, guys. I took them to a wings place, you know, the big spender I am. And we had a great time, great conversation, man.
Yeah, they should have said steaks and lobster.
Open storefront just for fans.
Yeah, they should have said steaks and lobster, man. That's what I would have said.
I know, right? It'd be like, oh man. But I really appreciate the fan base, and I'm one of the few guys in social media that has a physical address that if you come to it, there's a very good chance I'll actually be here. And so the stuff I say on the internet and the posts I make and the people I upset, you know, they know exactly where to find me if they want to have a conversation, you know. And I always tell people they're really nasty to me. I'm like, just come by my store. It's not a threat. I'll buy a cup of coffee and let's go talk about whatever your issue is, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
I think ultimately it's hard for someone to really like have it out with you because you're not a bad guy. You're passionate. What people are seeing, like even on the subject that we're talking about with the NRA and what's going on with bump stocks and the ATF and all that, I keep telling people that behind the core of you, you're truly passionate about this when there's some people that are in this thing that are here for the fame and the glory or the money. Well, I don't know where the hell the money is, but you know,
we gotta keep digging for it. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I know, right? But you're not really here for that, man. You are truly passionate about it, and I think that lots of people appreciate that about you and the other YouTubers out there. You know, because I don't want to make it seem like you're the only one, but
I am not the only one. There are a lot of very good people out there that definitely are very strong voices like yourself and everybody on this live stream and all the other gun tubers, many activists out there, and we need all of us together. And it's not like, you know, we can be the Bulls and have Michael Jordan carry the game. It's a team effort, man. And I'm not Michael Jordan. That's Hickok and Iraq veteran. I'm actually kind of small in the grand scheme of things. When you look at Demolition Ranch and all these other guys, I'm not that big of a channel.
No, but you have a very loyal following. For the people who know you, you know, really, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here, but if I don't, you know, because I'm making videos and all that kind of stuff, I can't watch as many videos as I used to. But you're one of the guys that I still catch your videos.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean?
I'll be
because
honest,
I got something out of it.
All I watch is my own videos, and as pretentious as that sounds, it's only because I have to in editing. And then once I'm done editing, I never want to see that video again.
Yeah. Well, I watch other stuff. What kind of, and wait, hold on a second. Walter, did you want to ask something? Did you want to say something? You're muted.
Muted, Walt.
I got accused of making too much noise. Because I have guns here right by the microphone, by the way.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Mac about, were you in the gun? Did you have a store before Obama?
Before, no. So we started our gun store about 4 years ago.
Okay, that was I heard you say a down market. Right now, it's a normal market.
Yes, it's down to us. So we started our gun store.
That's what I was going to say. You've never been, you didn't have your store when it was normal before.
No. So,
okay, so I've said that about a lot of folks in the gun business now. They've never known it to be normal. All they know is up and down and left and right. So when it gets like it is now, everybody goes, oh. It's like, well, that's what happens. That was before Obama. It was the same way. I understand that. So
yeah. We honestly need the market to be. I think it's very dangerous what the market's doing right now, and I think that's why we shouldn't mess around.
Why is it dangerous? I'm just asking you.
Because
take out the politics. Take out the worry about losing your stuff. What's wrong with the general
any market that's constantly fluctuating like this, up and down, making these massive swings one way or the other, is eventually going to create incredible fatigue in the market. Yeah,
it did. You're seeing it right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the normal thing.
A lot of people don't want to be involved with the politics because they're tired of it.
You don't be quiet.
They dealt with this up and down with their emotions for 8 years, and now they're like, oh, I can really take a break. Well, obviously, you can't take a break.
When it comes to the politics of it, you cannot take a break. It's too. I think it's too important. But
I hear it from people all the time. I don't do politics. They do guns. They do guns. But
do they live in the world?
I said, well, how do you own a gun and not watch a little bit what's going on? You know. Well, I don't. You know.
It's apathy, man.
Yeah. Well,
because
yeah.
You know, we as Americans have it very, very good. Because we have massive oceans on both sides of us. We have great neighbors north and south of us. Well, Mexico could be considered a great neighbor at times. I mean, it depends what the drug cartels are doing that particular week.
Right.
But, you know, I vacationed, you know, in Mexico. I love it down there, love the people. But, you know, Mexico doesn't threaten us. Canada doesn't threaten us. No. So we just get lulled into thinking that, oh, we're safe. Nobody can touch us. We don't have to worry about defending ourselves. We can just go out and, you know, play Frisbee and go skiing and watch football and basketball and kick back, and, you know, life is all good. And what they don't realize is the world's changing very, very, very quickly. China is not our friend. They're a trade partner. They're not our friend.
They're not a partner in trade either. They're an enemy in trade.
Right. If anything, there's a tremendous trade deficit. But they're building the capability to project force. And why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're building aircraft carriers and submarines? Who do you think they're building them to use against?
For us.
Ain't the Russians.
At the same time, the last 8 years, we neutered the Navy pretty much.
Yeah.
By retiring all these ships.
Yeah, I know, man. We've neutered a lot of our military. After 8 years of Democratic leadership, you know, we've spent trillions of dollars fighting a war and not keeping the military in a constant state of readiness. We've let a lot of things slip. President Clinton did the same thing, man. He was launching Tomahawk cruise missiles like we had, you know, an endless supply of them. He was launching them, but they weren't building new ones.
Right.
So it's like, you know, we've depleted our resources so much, and we're trillions in debt. You know, Americans are going to wake up one day and we're going to be a third world economy, and they're all going to go, well, why does a can of Coke cost $19? Well, because when I was a kid in the 80s, when I went to Mexico, a can of Coke cost about 100 pesos.
All you got to do, if you want expensive cocoa, now you got to do is go to San Francisco.
Oh, good grief. I know, right?
Sugar charge on everything. Yeah.
That's in Chicago too, ain't it?
Chicago, I think, did it. New York, I believe, started in New York with Bloomberg, and then it went to California. And I think Chicago's up to it. Chicago,
Yeah.
you know, I actually went by town. I used to work downtown Chicago in my executive days. And I went by City Hall one time, and there were people outside protesting. Streets were shut down, right? All these protesters, they were holding picket signs. And you're not going to believe me when I tell you what those picket signs said.
What?
Raise our taxes. The city was broke, and these goofballs were out there with picket signs demanding that their taxes get raised. And that, my friends, is what is wrong with this country.
Leading your own self to the slaughter. Basically.
I know, right? This is why I tell people to say they want to raise taxes. Hey, if you're that willing to give your money away, then when you get the tax bill, let's say it's $10,000, write the government a $20,000 check. If you're so willing just to give the government money so they can piss it away, give them all your money, but leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow we managed to fight the Great War, the First World War, and we didn't have an income tax, and yet our country still ran in the black.
Yeah.
How is that possible? We didn't have an income tax. We didn't have, tax on Coca-Cola. We didn't have village taxes like they have in Chicago. We didn't have license plate taxes, and we didn't have gasoline taxes like we do now.
Also had no welfare either.
And we had no welfare. That was Roosevelt. That came about after World War II.
And we also had fear. What you were talking about. People weren't, I'm not saying America wasn't doing well, but people weren't super comfortable in what they have. I bet you, if you really checked into those people with those signs, most of those people didn't actually have a job and don't actually pay taxes.
No, it's the sad reality is a very, very, very small percentage of Americans actually pay taxes. Right. And on the other side of that, the rich people have the most loopholes. Mm. So it really falls on the middle class to support everybody else. And
You're breaking up a little bit there, Mac. Can you, do you see that thing that looks like your bandwidth on the phone?
No.
Yeah, if you look on the screen, like there's the hang up button and then the cog.
Oh yeah. Adjust bandwidth.
Yeah, just adjust that down a little bit.
Is that better? I put it to medium.
Yeah, good. Because if you go on a nice rant, we don't want to miss it.
Okay. but if you want to see what happens when you destroy the middle class, go look at a socialist country like Venezuela. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens when you have no middle class. Yeah. And you just have rich and poor.
Well, and, I tell people this all the time. Like a couple of years ago, I was talking to my dad. Right, I'm from Guyana. And my dad was doing pretty well in Guyana, right? He was in charge of infrastructure in Guyana, and he knew the prime minister and all that, and played chess with him. And
in Chicago, we call that the mafia. But go ahead.
Basically, and they sent my dad to Brunel in London to get his master's degree in metallurgical engineering. And I asked him why when you left, and when he left, he took all of us, which they never let you do. The guy would just go on his own. If he took his family, they knew he was never coming back. So they had to have an act of Congress for my dad to take his wife and children and leave Guyana. So I asked him one day, I said, Dad, why did you, because he obviously never went back. And then he became like a criminal basically in Guyana. Because, all of us went into that status basically because we didn't go back. So I said, why did you do it? If you were so well off, I remember my dad, like, on construction projects and all, it was amazing what I remember as a kid. And he said, because with all of that stuff, one day he had like one pair of shoes, and those shoes were so worn out that there was a hole in them. And when he went to the store and looked at what it would cost him to buy a pair of shoes, it just blew his mind. And he said, there's no way in hell I could have my children grow up like this in this country, even though I have all these things. And that's what, that's what you get from that.
That's what Bernie Sanders would give us, right? And it's so funny watching the socialists and communists, and I say it multiple times, there's nothing in this world I hate more than a communist. I hate them. I hate them. They should be wiped from the face of the earth. It's a scourge. You have socialists like Bernie Sanders who now are trying to rebrand themselves as democratic socialists. Socialism works great right up until the people you're taking the money away from leave the country. Then socialism doesn't work. Then you get what you have in Venezuela and every other socialist country that's completely collapsing. The USSR collapsed. You know, the millennials probably don't even know what USSR is or what CCCP is. They never even heard of it. All they know is the Russian Republic. That's what happens to socialism and communism, which is even worse. You know, you have gulags, you have, you know, anyway, I don't want to get into all that.
Yeah. No, but it's our brand of socialism, so of course it's going to work.
It's democratic socialism. It's not progressive. It's like jumbo shrimp.
So it'll totally work this time.
My brain is exploding.
You're not progressive.
Socialism.
Why aren't you more progressive? Why aren't you more progressive?
Well, they went from, you know, what's funny is if you Google right now on your computers, Google classic liberal and tell me what you guys find. So what the socialists do is they commandeer phrases, wording, and they're great at marketing themselves. But the true definition of a liberal is a conservative, what we call a conservative today.
I had that realization not long ago that I liberal is what you would say.
I am a classic liberal. And it means libertarian. It means I don't want government in my life. Leave me the hell alone.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny, but that's how they do it. Then they go from liberal, then they go to progressive because liberal gets, you're like, oh, you dirty liberal. It gets turned into a dirty word. Then they say, we're not liberal, we're progressive. We're, you know, it's just,
it sounds nice.
It's so harmless. We're just progressive. We're progressing forward.
That's all Brave New World, isn't it? Brave New World. Those are Brave New World words, or is it 1984? I'm trying to remember.
1984 is Orwellian.
Yeah. Those are, you know. Let me just take a quick break here to remember we're like approaching 200 people, so please click the thumbs ups. We really appreciate that, guys. Hit the thumbs ups. I think we're like less than 100 thumbs ups right now. 91. Yeah. So if you guys appreciate what's going on, please hit the thumbs ups. That helps us. If you're tuning in and you're not subscribed to Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded, please subscribe, because this is where we're going to be until we get our speaking of communism and socialism, until we get our going live rights back, you know, which I did contest the whole thing that happened, but they don't give a crap. They even deleted the video, the live video that they cut off. I don't know if you.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we were live on air.
Oh yeah, and it went black.
Yeah, and we were talking about actually I think we were talking about the whole Trump and, you know, shithole thing. I don't want to get into that all over again.
No. Because you get banned again.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, you know.
Oh man, your account bad. Go away. How dare you think you're not towing the progressive line. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and I don't even think they took time to look into what I was talking about, because I was actually giving Trump a hard time.
Good.
You know, but we were trying to have a good conversation about the whole thing, and we were all being respectful and all that. I think what happened, and I've seen you talk about it in your life things, that there were a bunch of trolls in there just saying a lot of craziness, and we couldn't stop those guys fast enough. And the ones that we did stop, I think, went out there and like reported us and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we did a live stream with Eric Pratt from Gun Owners of America last week, and it's amazing. I don't know where these people come from, but you get these anti-Semitic people come in, these racists come in, they make these you know, unbelievable, nasty comments. And how we have it set up now is we have two moderators that are just banning as fast as they can. And they're doing this on purpose because Google monitors that. And if they see that going on, they'll shut you down.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
And they're trying to shut us down by doing that stuff. And, you know, I tell people right away, if you come in here and you say stupid things, if you say anti-Semitic or racist things, you're gone. No questions asked. I'm banning you for life. But they just keep creating fake accounts and keep doing it. They're trying to silence us. That's what the progressives do. They're book burners. They're brown shirts. They're Nazis.
Yeah.
People want to say that conservatives are Nazis. No, they were called the National Socialist Party for a reason. They took control of all industry, and they burned books, and they threatened and silenced the opposition. That's exactly what the American progressive does.
Yeah.
But in the end, what happened to the brown shirts? They didn't have a good time either. The brown shirts all got axed too, for the most part.
Well, yeah, there was the night of 1,000 knives or whatever. Yeah, when the SO got taken out by the SS. Yeah,
right, correct. So,
that's what that whole thing was about. They just took those guys out once they got what they wanted.
Well, no, Hitler lost faith in the brown shirts.
Right.
They brought them to power. Yeah, they became too powerful. They thought they were going to challenge his power, so he had his loyal guards, the SS, basically assassinate the brown shirts so he can keep power.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy how quickly we forget, and you know, maybe it wasn't, you know.
And we're not talking 10 people either. We're talking hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Or thousands of people were killed. So,
and here's what kills me, guys. Here's what kills me. There are still people today that bear the marks of Nazi Germany. Jewish people that still have the tattoos on their arms, and God bless them, they're getting older now. We're losing our World War II vets, and we're losing those folks that survived those concentration camps. But there are still people alive that lived through that horrific Holocaust, and yet we have people of the Jewish faith in Congress pushing for gun control.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It's mind-numbing. It would be like the gay community saying, "Oh, we should ban guns after the gay nightclub shooting." We had a whole bunch of gay couples come into our store after that nightclub shooting, and they wanted to buy guns, and they wanted to get training. Absolutely. You absolutely need a gun. That's what it means to be an American. You have a right to life and self-preservation. And we have people alive today that live through that say, "Oh no, we don't need guns. Let's ban them. Let's let the government have guns," because that's always worked out so good in the past.
Yeah,
right?
I went to Atlanta to Google has a headquarters in Atlanta, and I went there to do a YouTube thing, probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And you know, I put crazy stuff in my head, so I had guns put into my head, and so the people at YouTube and the security and everything in that building were really mad at me. But of the other YouTubers that were there, there were these YouTubers that were black and gay, you know, and they were talking to me about the gun thing, and they were like, "Dude, we need guns." I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, everyone needs guns." Yeah, and they were happy to talk to me, and they wanted to know about things. But everyone else over there was like, "Did you bring guns in here with you?" You know, I just had some guns in my head. Now you can do any other craziness you want to, but you can't. You know, this is the problem, right?
Yeah, it's an indoctrination. So it starts at the school level, it continues through the collegiate level. It's an indoctrination that started back in the 50s and 60s with the hippie movements. Those people are still in power in these schools, and it's a never-ending campaign, and that's why I'm a no-compromise person when it comes to our gun rights, because there's no such thing as a compromise when we're talking about our rights. A compromise implies that both people get something of equal value, right? Yeah. So if we're truly going to have a compromise, we say, yeah, we'll give you bump stocks, but you erase the Hughes Amendment and the NFA, and you can have bump stocks. We wouldn't need them anyway, right? Because we got the NFA repealed, right? But that's not that. They're not compromising. What they're doing is just taking. So when the NRA and all these other groups compromise, what they're doing is handing our rights over on a silver platter. And I don't want to compromise with anybody. The only thing I want to hear uttered from the lips of an anti-gunner is, "I'm sorry that we've stripped you of your liberty. Here they are. You can have them all back." Until they say that, screw them.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Amen. Go ahead, Kevin.
That's why I often say, you know, and that's why I often say that there's a bunch we can do, right? And I always say that everybody has their own gifts. Like everybody's great at something where other people might not be as good as you. But whatever your gift is, use it. Because right now we have more people that are not shooting guns and not understanding of freedom than we do that are, right? So it would be nice that if we can get, you know, even from sales perspectives or voting perspectives, one thing that I noticed that a lot of gun people do, and just in conversation, they don't mean any harm, is they start immediately with, I don't even know what a trigger is, right? And I'm trying to figure out what guns are and if they're cool. They start immediately with politics. To people about politics, because if I've been voting, say, for whatever my interpretation is, I'm going to vote for a person A, B, and C throughout their entire political career, right? I have some type of loyalty to them, and if you immediately start talking to me about that sucks, don't do that, I'm going to be defensive because I have to defend the decision I've been making for all these years, right?
Yeah, you're going to shut down. You're going to shut
down. So just start taking people out and just enjoy it with them, and then slowly start talking about, hey, you know, get them enjoying it. And then if you just leave them with fruit to think about, say, hey, when you're using, I'm not going to tell you how to use your political vote or your political power. What I will say is, you know how you were able to come out with me for the last few weeks and shoot guns and have a good time, and you want to be able to protect your family? Yeah. I want you to think about the people that don't agree with the fact that you have that right and throw your hand. And so that's all.
Beautifully said.
And who you've been voting for.
Yeah. You know what? Guns are a gateway drug to freedom. Obviously, you know, Kevin, I think out of everyone here on the panel, you're the one actually interacting with people doing the classes and everything. You're seeing firsthand what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, and so that's what I mean by everybody has their great gifts, right? And so I think that my great gift is communicating with people and really working with people at a ground level. So when I'm doing my little smidgen to go out and do what I can to promote our freedoms and our 2A, I take that strength, and when I'm talking to them, these are like, for instance, this past weekend, had a wonderful conversation with my Bosnian friend. He immigrated here from Bosnia, so he wasn't born here. We're sitting down talking, and he loves his guns, and we're sitting talking, and he says something to me, and it's like, man, I've been trying to tell people that for years, and I need gun people to listen to me. We're sitting there debating. He was like, you know why I like you? I was like, why? He was like, because you never, ever made me feel like you were using me. So that's why he interacts with me. He said, but so many times, man, I'll just be talking to people, and they are uninterested in how me and my community feel, being the Bosnian community, until they need our votes, and we're sick and tired of being used for that. He's like, so there are people in the Bosnian community that will not vote pro-gun because only time you talk to them is when elections are coming up. Yeah. And they notice that. So they're not in tune with that. So when I'm coming back saying, hey guys, from this community, whether it's African American, Bosnian, Asian, whoever I'm talking to, when I'm putting all those pictures up on Instagram, dealing with all these communities, even with Aiming for the Truth, when I'm there doing that event and people are opening up saying like, hey guys, and I'll tell you, you guys hold me accountable. All you guys are intelligent. You know about gun control. You've been hearing it for years. So there's this part in the Noir episode where I snatched a T-shirt off a guy's head, and he turned around, looked in the mirror, and threw his hands up. But nobody heard the audio of what was going on. So instead of beating them up with politics at the Aiming for the Truth event, this is what I said. 70 people in attendance, and I said, hey guys, now that we've got all these great resources for you. So Mac, I don't know if you're familiar with Aiming for the Truth, but it's a program where the short version is we help enrich people's lives through employment, education, rebuilding families, helping them get mental health. So we bring counselors in. We also bring FFLs in because a big thing is with certain communities, they feel very uncomfortable and have a lot of stories about how it's uncomfortable going in gun stores. So even when you get them into it, they don't know where to go. So I invite the FFLs in. It's really a community enrichment thing. Like, let's break down barriers and build together. Yeah. And so one thing I did there is I said, okay, guys, I brought a guy up, and this is bringing an overall point. I brought a guy up, happened to be an African-American man, about 25, 26 years old, very nice kid. I brought him up and put a T-shirt over his head. And we had a guy stand behind him with a 6-foot-tall body mirror. And he didn't know he was there. And I said, okay, when I say something, guys, audience, hold me responsible. I gave them just a textbook definition of the word control. No gun, just the word control. I said, all right, when I say something about guns you haven't heard before, I want everybody to hold me accountable. Everybody. They said, okay. I said, they're dark, they're scary, they need to be legislated, they can't be controlled. Only certain ones of them can be trusted, i.e. in the hands of military or police. They're running amok on society, and we will never have peace until we have them under control. Anybody disagree? And I said a few more things. Everybody's like, no, sounds pretty much like what I've heard. And I yanked the shirt off his head, had him turn around and stare in the mirror. I said, tell me I'm still talking about guns. at that point, and that's when he threw his hands up, like, no, you're talking about me. I said, exactly, guys. And when you educate people, whatever your skill is, I'm not saying everybody can do that, but whatever your skill is, when you're doing that, introduce people to it that way. So, because that was an eye-opener. Like, you should have heard the breaths in the room. Like, all this, like one woman said, she said, you mean to tell me, she was in her 50s. She said, you mean to tell me that I've lived my entire life being told how to hate myself? Yes. I said, exactly. Yeah. And that's what she said. Yeah. So let's use your, I like to sum that up. I would say, guys, use your gifts. And sometimes you're great at taking 1 or 2 people out to the range. And if you, guess what? If you flip those 1 or 2 people, we can put out all the great YouTube videos we want. But if you flip one person that week, you've done a hell of a job. Yeah. You know, like, I agree. So we all have to get out there and do the work. And I just advise, don't beat them up with politics. Give them the plate, give them a knife, and teach them how to cut their own food and let them come up to their decision. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, you know, yep.
I think this is what we were talking about when it comes. This is where lots of people, we were talking about the NRA and a lot of things going. Political parties, Republicans, Democrats. This is what they're missing. They're really not dealing with us on a real level. They don't really care anymore. We're just numbers to them, right? Or we're just sheep or cattle going in for the slaughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
they use this for votes. What I always find interesting about politicians, regardless of their party, They always make promises, grandiose promises during the campaign. And then once they get in office, they almost all behave the exact same way.
Yeah.
Right? So take a look at Bush 43. He gave us the Patriot Act. He did the bailouts. Oh, this company's too big to fail. We got to bail them out. We got to use your tax dollars to bail them out. That happened under Bush 43, a conservative. And then what happens when President Obama comes in, right? He promised to change everything up and do things completely differently. And what did he do?
Save everyone.
He did. No, he didn't repeal. Hated the Patriot Act. They didn't repeal the Patriot Act. They gave us another act. What was it called? The National Security Authorization Act or whatever. They gave us another act, even more encroaching on our liberties. And they continued the bailouts and upped the ante and bailed out more companies with more money we don't have.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is people see Republicans and Democrats as good and bad, and it's not that. They're all corrupt to their very core. They're going to lie to your face, tell you exactly what you want to hear to get elected. And then once they gain power, they keep doing whatever the hell it is they want to do, which doesn't benefit the people.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. You know what? All politicians try to create problems so they can look like they're solving problems when all they need to do, like, just go back to the basics and give us our rights.
Right.
That's it.
Politicians do stuff like, I heard Kevin say African American, and that term, I hate that term. I hate that term, and why? And I make fun of it because when I go into some place, I have to fill out a form, and they ask me what my nationality is, and I'll write other and put Euro American. I'm just a freaking American, man.
And
why do you have to be an African American or South American American?
It's a divisional thing.
American?
They're trying to divide us constantly, trying to divide everybody else.
On purpose. Exactly. They keep us divided so we can't come together and fight the real enemy, which is our government. And they keep us divided. They keep this false narrative going that we all hate each other. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. It most certainly does. But that's a dying breed, right? People are coming around to realize we're just people. We're just Americans. I'll tell you what. When I served in the military, there wasn't Hispanic or white or African American. We were all just
Latino American.
Marines. Well, if we can be Marines, we can be Americans, right? I just wish more people would see things that way and stop using these terms that we've been conditioned to use because it's politically correct. Kevin, you're an American, dude. Hank, you're an American. I don't need any other descriptive terms.
Yeah, I get that. Listen, Lola was actually born in Africa, and she does not like African American. She wants to be called an American. If you want to know what her origin,
American of African descent. Sure. You can be an American of Polish descent, or
what's funny, man? Everybody on this live hangout, if we all did a 23andMe, a DNA swab, you're going to find out you're going to have Danish blood in you, Chinese blood in you, African blood in you. All of us are mutts. None of us are. I'm pasty white, but that doesn't make me. Like I'm definitely German, I'm definitely English, or I'm definitely Dutch.
What percentage do you have to have? I mean, because most people, including white people, have at least 2 or 4, somewhere like 2 or 4% Africans. A lot of them have more than that.
All mutts, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely a mutt.
It's skin pigment. It has nothing to do with who we are. And by using those terms of I'm an African American, it's a PC term generated to divide us. I'm not ripping on you, Kevin, man. I'm just saying I hate that we have to keep doing that, but it's done by politicians to keep us divided for votes and money and power.
I think when it comes to, I'm always a person that says, if you always talk and never listen, you're the real fool. So I think that that's the second time. So I'm going to own this. Obviously, I have to digest what was said because you're the second person that said it to me in 2 days. So really? Yesterday, and you guys, well, I don't know if you've met him, but Hank, I know he said he met you. Mark McCoy of Carolina Arms Group. Okay. I don't know, Mac, if you know who he is. But the 1911. Well, they make high-end 1911s, but he was coming through Missouri yesterday, so he called me. He swung by. I tested out his guns. We shot some guns. Did a quick video, and we were talking. And he was actually sharing that perspective. It wasn't even something I said. He was bringing it from another guy. They were having a great conversation, and he used the same term because it's what we used to. We just say it, right? And he said the same thing. And you two sound like twins with your philosophy. And it's something that I think that we have to learn how to not only absorb, but at the same time process it correctly while not feeling like we will be, losing lineage or heritage or things like that, right? So how to do that and do it right. But I will say this. You're right, because I say it all the time. I use the term American a lot. I always throw it on Instagram. And then in conversation, I will say, something, and then I will be contradictory of myself because I'll say, aren't we all American? That's the whole point we're trying to get to. So I do think, so I don't take what you say personal, because you're the second guy, you're the second gun guy to say that in the last 2 days to me. So it maybe it's something that we have to all take back, digest, and come up with, because we can all be educated, right? We can all, it's all about seeing perspective, right? See how these guys see it, how you see it. And I think that's part of the bigger problem. If we can cut down to maybe some boundaries that have been built in us that we don't know exist, right? You don't even know they're there. Maybe we can cut this stuff down. We can actually see fruit of it. So yeah, man, I'm not mad. I think you make a good point.
No, you know what I would like to do? Just in this conversation, I thought of something funny. And I have a very morbid sense of humor, but I'd love to take like all the KKK guys and like hog tie them, strap them down, and stick a Q-tip in their mouth and get a DNA test done, and then come back and show them, say, dude, you're 19% African, and then say, go hang yourself.
Yeah.
You can't live with yourself, because people are so freaking stupid. They're so wrapped up in this stuff. And it's used to keep the narrative away from what the real problems are. The real problems we face is the fact that we're going broke at an incredible pace. We're having our rights stripped from us daily. I've been to countries in Europe that are presumably less free than us that are more free, and you never hear about that in America. We're the land of the free, home of the brave, man. This is where freedom exists. Oh, yeah, holy cow. We have so many laws on the books. We have to have a building the size of Rhode Island to house them all. It's called the Library of Congress. I mean, we have legislated ourselves. We don't live free. We live under the illusion of freedom. And the only thing that allows us to keep our grasp on what freedom we have left is the Second Amendment. And what happened at the Bundy Ranch, even though the Bundys turned out to be a bunch of whack jobs, but what happened at the Bundy Ranch, I didn't think I'd ever live to see happen. And that's when somebody posted something on social media. It was a short video of police giving the beat down to some folks who were not allowing the BLM to come take their cattle or whatever. And we saw a bunch of people from all walks of life, of all nationalities, all Americans, picked up guns, gear, and went down there and stood the line against armed federal agents and said, no, you don't. And they backed the government down without a shot fired. I never thought I'd live to see the day. Whoever the commander on the ground was on the government side made the right decision, because if they would have fired one shot, the thousands of patriots that showed up to say no, the minute they killed one of them, there would have been 1 million of us going down there. I would have left and went down myself. I'm not, we can't let a Waco happen again. We can't let a Ruby Ridge happen again. And social media is giving us the power so we can quickly do our own versions of flash mobs. And when the government steps out of line, like if they kick my door in and I got my cell phone going and I'm broadcasting live on Facebook, everybody's going to immediately know, and they could come and put a stop to it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the Second Amendment is about, man. It's putting the ultimate power of government in the hands of the people, because governments by their very nature will always become tyrannical. They will always grasp for more and more power. And it is our responsibility. Jefferson said that the tree of liberty needed to be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Our government.
I think you broke up a little bit there, Mac. Are you there? Yeah. Is he?
I'll go get one more bar.
I think he said give him a minute.
Yeah.
I think the gov blocked him.
Yeah.
Right when he was getting to the good part, right when it was getting to the crescendo, they were like,
Bundy Ranch.
Yeah.
But I want to make it clear, guys, I'm not calling for insurrection or anything like that.
No. And the Bundys were recently vindicated, right?
He was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they prosecute some of the protesters, the guys that went down. Didn't we hear that? Like one
of his sons went up and took over a cabin somewhere and tried to set up another event. It almost like they were trying to stage another event to confront the government because they were so successful in Nevada. I don't know what was going on. One of them wound up getting in a gunfight and killed by a police officer, which is another thing that drives me crazy, man. It's like you see all these folks out there that are Antifa or even Black Lives Matter. They are all anti-gun, but they don't like the police, but they're okay with them having their guns taken away, but the police they don't trust, they're okay with them because they're the government, they're okay with them having guns. How do you reconcile that logic?
You can't if you're vain.
The funny thing is that with the BLM, I can speak a little bit of unique about that because it was born right here where I'm at. So, you know, when things calmed down, because I wasn't going into that mess. I just couldn't do it. It was bad. It looked like a war zone. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't there just hanging out. I was there for a purpose. I did my mission. I got out. But when we were sitting there and, you know, things calmed down. This is a year or so when things were a little bit more rational. I was asking them, you know, why don't you guys, let's talk about this gun control thing? You know, let's have this conversation. And I did with a couple of people that represent that movement. And they were like, well, we do want guns. I said, really? Well, that's not kind of what your mission is saying based off the people you're allowed to support it, especially. And then when you say that you want crime to stop and things like that, I think you're going about it the wrong way. You're actually taking away your freedom without realizing it. Like you're helping, you have a friend of me. You don't have a friend. You have a friend of me right now. And I don't think you guys are realizing it. And so then they turned around and one guy stood up in the middle of a class and said, well, why don't you train the militia? I'm like, what? What are you asking me to do? Like, what is that? You know, and he's like, well, why don't we just have a militia of guys of basically, and I'm not saying he spoke for BLM. Okay. This is just one of the orders. Why don't guys like you get out and train us to be a militia basically, where we can fight back against the government? I was like, you just missed everything I was saying to you. Like it totally went over your head. So when you try to explain it to certain ones of them that I encountered and try to have a real conversation, they were respectful though. Don't get me wrong, but it was like they only see guns as a way of violence. Right. They still weren't getting it. I'm like, you don't have to get a gun to be a militiaman. And they're like, well, we're going to get our guns to fight back against the police. It's like, okay, you're. So I don't think they're quite under the understanding that guns equal people and that you can be responsible. I don't think that they're there yet.
Yeah.
If I'm going off the small sample size I had.
I don't want anybody starting a war. Civil war is probably the nastiest of all types of wars to be waged, and the people that come out and say, "I'm a civil war," and that's how we're going to fix our government. They don't realize, first of all, civil war means your neighbor is either going to try to kill you or you're going to kill them. They're going to kill your children. They're going to burn your house down. And it's bloody, nasty, dirty. Just look what happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was a modern civil war would be the worst thing ever. It's just not something we have to avoid it at all costs. But that doesn't mean that threat is taken off the table, because the government has to believe that if they go too far, the people will say that's enough. Yeah. And the only way the people can say that's enough is if they have the power to fight back. And right there.
Yeah. So now I would be remiss. What's Walter showing here? What's that?
All right.
You got a 1911.
This is, and I know everybody likes plastic now. Everybody loves that plastic. But this is a 6906 Smith & Wesson.
Oh.
I'm looking at this gun as you guys are talking, and I said, this is an example of really decent made stuff. You know,
you like that? Is that a new acquire?
No, it's a police trade that I bought years ago, actually.
Oh, okay, looks good.
When they were transitioning to all those plastic guns, they got rid of the aluminum and stainless steel guns, and so these things were relatively affordable at that time.
Yeah,
but that's a pea shooter.
That's oh boy.
What you got?
A 1006. It's a 10 millimeter.
Oh, 10 millimeter.
don't play top trumps with Mac.
Isn't that the one that the FBI adopted?
No, I have that. It's a 1076. I have that one at home. But it's a shortened version of this. Has a decocker over here for the FBI version. But yeah, it was based off this handgun, the 1006. And yeah, this heavy cudgel. If you run out of ammo, you can beat your adversary down with it. Yeah.
So I would be remiss if we didn't talk. Babyface has been trying to show us something new that
cap and ball revolver.
I haven't been showing anything. I'm playing with it because it's paperweight right now.
Why?
Oh God, you guys want to see the Gorn? So I bought a cap and ball revolver. It's 1849 Colt pocket. I think it's from 1870. It's all serial.
That's a pocket. People had deep pockets back then.
I know this is what's considered a pocket gun. Tiny little. So when I bought it, it was fairly cheap for what it is. Because the cylinder was locked up in one spin, you couldn't cock the hammer back. Took it apart, and the cylinder stop is broken on the back, so
yeah,
that snapped off and needs to be replaced. And then 2, Bubba done messed with this gun bad. So here's the hammer with his great welding that he did.
Woo! Holy cow.
And he put a little nub on the side, so because I guess I don't know what happened here, but the pin on this probably broke off. So this is the little pawl that moves the cylinder.
You didn't realize us when you bought it, did you?
Jesus, no. I thought it was gonna be a little bit here, but
where did you get this from?
Where's a pawn shop locally?
Oh, okay.
It wasn't expensive. These are normally $1,000 guns, so it wasn't too expensive.
Okay. So where are you going to get the replacement parts for?
Oh, I don't even know.
Okay. Mac,
I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet.
You might be able to get some. It's a Colt, right?
This is a Colt, yeah.
So there should be maybe the reproduction parts will actually work in it.
I'm wondering if I can buy just like a Pieta, one of the Pieta parts.
Sure, they'll work. I think
it should work.
I've seen people do it. It's going to take some hand fitting, obviously, but it'll work. Yeah,
it'd be cheaper probably to buy the whole gun and strip it. Use what you want.
It's gonna be a shooter for sure. It's not a super collectible gun. They made like 350,000 of these anyways. They're not like highly collectible.
Like I said on the interweb, though, I want to shoot it though. So
yeah, no. Once I get it working, we got to do some black powder shooting.
What you need to do since we're doing Gorn back. By the way, we call gun porn Gorn around here, man.
We're gonna show off our snakes.
Yeah, so no, mine's bigger than yours.
Here's a shinier too.
See, I don't get into modern revolvers, man. They don't flip my switch. I'll show you the type of revolvers I like. I got to go into my vault. I'll be right back.
Boy, people go into the vault.
You can probably still hear me since I'm wireless. Let me find a
I always get scared when Mac wants to go to the vault. We are not going to win this game. I've tried to play this game with Mac before. Like, Mac, I have this thing. You probably never heard of this. He's like, dude, I got
2 of them.
I have 4 of those. I have some of them brand new in the boxes.
Well, speaking of that, when I was digging stuff out of my safe,
here you go. You and your Colt Pythons. How about a 1917 Colt?
I love those things. 45s.
45
ACP, yes, sir. And this an Arsenal refinish. It was refinished for World War II service, and sat in a warehouse. It's an original Armory refinished state. It's an example that's just I have to break. I think I shot it in video once.
Cool. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that?
Man, I don't know. My thing is like when I travel. Like I'm going to be going down to Texas here to do some hunting, and I'm going to drive this time. And what I do is I navigate by gun stores. I look for these little gun stores off the beaten path that hopefully have guys in there that are 65, 70 years old that don't use the internet, so they don't know how valuable things are. And you find a gun like this, it's a lot of money, you can take it home for $400.
That's a good deal.
I don't know what I paid for it. I've had it for a while, but I don't buy guns. When I buy collectibles, I buy them where I make money, and I use them as investments. So, but I've had that one for quite some time.
That makes sense. It looks like Kevin has a gun. Kevin, what you got?
I bought this 1902 Colt.
Is that a pocket hammer?
Smokeless.
That was before that.
That's a pocket hammer, isn't it? Or
no, it's bigger. It's larger. It's a different.
Yeah. No, it looks like a 1910.
It's an 02.
Yeah,
and this is 02. Okay. Remember smokeless. This boy is not as in good a shape as the one, Walton Mack is showing off these good condition guns. Oh, well, it's ugly like babyface.
No, you showed that to us before, Kevin. That's older than the one you're talking. Ours babyface.
Right. Yeah, mine is mine's a 1903 pocket hammerless.
Let's see if you guys can guess what this one is. Hold on.
Oh boy.
So Tim, are you planning on picking up any of the Colts when they come out for the
retro guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to, man. I'd like to.
I'm gonna try to get in on it. Whoa!
Oh, that's
what is this, guys? Come on, tell me.
It's not a Mauser.
No, it's the. I'm familiar with it, but I can't get the name of it.
Come on. It's a very, very early automatic pistol, World War I automatic pistol.
Come on, Walter, don't let us down. You're our historian.
I know about it, but I can't get the name out.
I have no idea.
Is it a Midget Smith?
It shoots 9mm Largo.
Okay, let me see who knows. Is it a Steyr? No.
No.
No, it's not a Steyr. It's a different name in there.
A Mannlicher.
A Bergman Vineyard?
You got it. Very good.
Okay, that was Kappa Joe 02 or Kappa something 02.
Yeah.
This one has 1910 stamped on it, so this was manufactured during World War I.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That looks like it's in really good shape too.
Oh, it is. It is. These are little gems you find at gosh, I wish I had better lighting. I'm trying to turn it here so you can actually see it. But yeah, these are the little gems you pick up at shops just in the middle of nowhere.
Where's your EDC flashlight? Come on now. Come on, man.
My ED flashlight.
We got to check the pockets.
This is my EDC flashlight. You see the flashlight?
Oh, he does have one.
Holy crap. He's got one.
Always have a gun. Always have a knife. I have a little Microtech.
Nice.
LUDT. Yeah.
Like, it seems to me like everyone, it's almost like a Microtech is almost like the Rolex of knives.
Oh,
everybody wants to.
I love ZT and Microtech, man. I love them. Not the only knives I buy.
I don't like knives. They scare me.
Oh,
I'm scared to death of them. I'll shoot somebody that pulls a knife on me.
Oh God, I
could never
stab a person.
You don't want to get chopped up. So listen, at some point, by the way, don't ever play gun trumps with Mac because. But Mac, do you have one of these? I don't know.
What an AK bullpup?
Yeah, do you have an AK-74?
That's really interesting. But do you want to see where the idea for that came from?
No, I don't.
It's Chinese.
What are you getting yourself into?
I don't want to see it. Oh man,
it's Chinese.
I made a video on it, guys.
All right. Does anybody have
I made all the collectors angry because I took it right out of the box. I had it brand new in the box for years, and I fired it on camera.
Oh,
there you go.
Guns are made to be shot.
Oh my gosh.
Chinese. That's Chinese.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
Chinese manufactured bullpup AK. Charging.
Oh Lord.
That looks so similar to a FAMAS. It's so crazy.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And look at this. They totally stole the Steyr. It's a little sticky here.
Where you can take it off.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that looks so.
Oh man.
That's really funny.
That's actually a beautiful thing to me, man.
So this is the true Chinese bullpup AK that was manufactured as an AK. So I got to go put this one back. I can't leave it sitting out. Too big.
Oh damn it! If you come across one of those again, I call dibs.
Hank is the collector of all things bullpups.
Yeah, actually, Mac has a bigger bullpup collection than I do.
Hank, I don't think we've ever asked you this. What is your all-time favorite bullpup?
Oh, what is that, Walter? That is
my all-time favorite bullpup.
Let them finish bullpup.
Mine personally is this AK-74 that I have. A bullpup that I have is this AK-74 right here. I love it. Okay. It's pretty awesome. So on this note, we should probably talk a little bit about SHOT Show.
Oh yeah, right.
Since it's in the title. And speaking of which, Mac, did you see that IWI is coming out with a 12 gauge semi-auto?
I did, and I saw the picture of it. And what does it look strikingly similar to? The magazine, an SRM 1216. It has that rotary magazine on the bottom.
Oh yeah. It's pretty thick also. It looks like
it looks big.
Yeah, it looks big, but I still want one.
Like the Truth About Guns or anything?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's on the Truth About Guns. If anyone's looking for it, it's on Truth About Guns.
Tavor TS12 bullpup. That thing looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks. I think I have an SRM somewhere around here.
Oh god,
that's the one where you can rotate the magazine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show it to you. You're gonna see it looks almost identical.
You going again?
Yeah. Oh, don't.
Hey, babyface.
Don't challenge him on guns.
You were asking me what this was before I got interrupted.
Looks like a Makarov of some kind, right?
No, it's a.
So here you go. This is what it looks like. It's based off of. See this drum magazine?
Yeah, exactly the same.
It looks identical. This is the SRM 1216 shotgun.
I gotta look.
And when you one tube, you just rotate it and go to the next tube.
Oh, okay.
I've never been a fan. I've always thought they're kind of weird looking.
They're not reliable. They're actually it uses a roller locking system like an H&K, which is just overly complex for a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
And it's horribly unreliable. And
I'll go get my 12 gauge. My favorite 12 gauge. Hold on.
Yeah, people are saying that there's people in the chat saying that it's bulky, looking like a TSOS. No. What is that? No, what did you write there? No, that bullpup. Oh, what's the no, UTOS.
Oh, the UTOS is a joke.
Yeah.
Have they ever fixed those?
No,
I think they went out of business. It was a complete sham. That company was.
Oh, I thought that company was still putting out guns.
Here's the,
I hope
the real
not. They're horribly
games.
unsafe.
Oh, so now you want to show off your Benelli? Go ahead.
M4, that's
Benelli's
right.
the way to go. Yeah. My favorite's the Super 90, man. The inertial recoil is so simple. No gas system to foul.
Yeah, super.
It's just shot. It's my favorite shotgun.
Yeah. I got Babyface a deal on that Benelli, and now he's a snob. Now he's a shotgun snob.
It's so smooth. It's like glass compared to like other shotguns.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you right now. Unless you put a bullpup kit on that thing. Oh, here goes the Origin, right? Is this
Origin 12, man. This is a firearm. This is not a shotgun. This is a firearm.
Yeah.
Now you know what? I was handling one of those today. That thing is heavier than it looks.
Yeah. We shot it before.
No, not you didn't shoot this one. This is the pistol.
No, I didn't shoot we shot the SBR version.
Yeah.
This thing is so stinking cool, man. You put a 20-round drum in it. This thing just I love it.
So do you put your salvo on that?
Oh God, that. Really
I've done it to the full size, but yeah, it's not really. No.
It's awesome though. The Origin, that's like a really sexy gun. You know.
I think it's ugly.
It's big and funky.
Okay, guys. The historian, tell me what this is.
Okay, Walter.
I can't get a good enough.
I wish I need to.
Where's your flash? Where's your flashlight? Put some light. Oh, that's not.
I have to look at it on the delay here.
Is it a 9mm something?
It's a 9mm. I'm trying to. This is like the worst lighting ever.
Yeah,
I can see it. I can see it on my laptop, on the second laptop. So.
Look at the stock on this thing.
That's a nice stock. I like that. That's like from an airplane. That's like from an airplane kind of.
It's the goofiest stock ever.
It's primitive.
Yeah, this is an American-made Uzi. It's
that's a good light right there. Right there. That's good.
It's called a Nighthawk carbine.
Okay.
They
weren't around very long either.
No, because it's a horrible piece of junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have it for the collection.
Yeah, you got to have all the weirdo stuff, man.
You got to have it for the library.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, you got some nice guns. Okay, Walter, let's see.
You can just turn into the Walton Mac show. These guys.
Because they got all the. Where's Walter even getting these guns from?
I know, he's not even getting up.
I'm not even seeing him go to the safe.
I know, he's just reaching over. I have to actually go into another room.
Walter, these guys are all under your desk.
Okay, this is pretty basic. PA-63 from Hungary.
Yeah.
Hungary, yeah.
9x18. Just your
basic
pistol. Simplified Walther. Yep. But they work.
Very nice. Very
simple.
I got something that's being threatened. If we don't take stuff serious, you want to see something? This little guy might be in trouble. See that guy there?
Was it HK?
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, the trigger.
Oh, the trigger.
Looks like a Geissele trigger.
The guy.
Yeah, the flat.
Yeah, it's a guy.
Yeah, the flat one.
Three-gun trigger.
Yep.
Yeah, the AR school.
That's a rate increasing device, man.
Yeah. So when my brain sends a signal to my finger and I shoot faster, is that rate increasing?
Yes, it is.
Well, you had bad thoughts. See, you had bad thoughts.
They've already said that a shoestring used improperly is a machine gun. So
technically, Mac's going to be going. He's going to have to go to.
Someone's audio.
Kevin's mic is broken.
Yeah, audio's going.
Kevin,
you lost your audio. Mac, let's see. Okay, what's this one? This looks like
these weird guns.
Is this a CZ?
Yes, it
is.
That's
52. Yeah, 52.
This is your poor man's hand cannon.
25. Yeah, that thing's a cannon. I was just out. I just did a video on the new Torkrevs they're bringing in from
Yugoslavia.
From Yugoslavia that have a really cool trigger safety. It has a Glock dingus on the trigger, so they don't have to put the big ugly safeties on the slider frames.
Really?
Yeah, it looks so clean.
Oh,
man.
I hate the safeties. Those things are.
I think you put this on Instagram too, didn't you? Like an above and below.
I didn't know they had that on.
Did you do a split picture or something of that on Instagram, or was that you?
Speaking of talks, speaking of Torkrevs. All right.
The Russian.
This is the Chicom one.
Chicom.
This is the Chinese one that we actually took the safety off, which don't work anyways, and welded up the hole.
Oh, nice. I've heard people doing that.
And it's once again hand cannon. Now these things are the Torkrev round.
225 is a cool round.
Yeah.
Most impressive, yes.
So let's do this real quick because we did make it on title, which I don't know why I bothered making it the title. But what are you guys looking forward to at SHOT Show? Let's start from Babyface, who's not going to SHOT Show.
No, take me last. I don't know what's going to be SHOT Show.
Okay.
Take me last. I don't know. That sounds good.
Oh, you want to go last?
Hit me up last. There you go. How's that sound? Hit me up last.
Still sounds bad. Okay, Walter, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I want to see that Draco, the new one, the Draco, or whatever you want to call it.
The 9mm?
Yeah. Just to look at it. I have a feeling that the magwell adapter in the bottom is made out of plastic. Somebody tell me it is, because I'm going to put a real.
It has a full-size magazine well in it, and they put a little cover over it. It's just like the Chiappa.
Okay.
It's a full-size 7.62x39 magazine well that they just fill in with plastic.
Because I think that thing needs a US Kalashnikov USA magazine instead. It looks more proper. Just my opinion. But I want to see that. Let's see. I'm looking down a website here with
Kalashnikov USA. I'd like to see them bringing out their 9mm.
Yeah, it's been talked about and talked about and nothing's happening.
I just want to go to Kalashnikov USA. I hope they hired Sonny Yunny to be in their booth.
Yes.
Because last year I lost a camera in the booth. I had a 360 camera and I lost it in that booth, and Lola was really mad at me because
we were distracted.
Because we were distracted by the booth model, and I lost the camera.
I actually want to go to the Glock area and touch the 19X.
Really, you want to touch it?
I know there's all this hate, but
I'll mail you mine when I'm done making fun of it. I just got to ride Glock a little bit.
I put together a M&P 19X using the full-size frame and the compact 2.0.
And I meant to talk about this the other night. On Patrick R's side, he had I think it was on his side or one of them, somebody had cut the bottom of the magwell off because they're all mad about it or something. I don't know.
Lots of people cut off the bottom of the magwells of
Glocks.
Of Glocks, yeah.
Yeah. So
is that all you want to see at SHOT Show, Walter?
No, there's some other stuff. I mean, it's SHOT Show is one of those things. When I get there, it's like, oh wow, check that out. Oh, cool, look at that. I want to go over to the EEA booth and see the 10mm. Got to see the 10mm over at European American Armory.
Yeah, I used to have one back in the day, and I traded it off because I never shot it. That was back when I was dumb. But it was really, really nice. Really nice 10mm. It was based obviously on the CZ75, and it was 10mm shot like a pussycat. It was great.
And you got rid of it. Kevin, can you hear us?
There we go. I don't know what's going on my computer. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get over to the HK booth. Sorry, Kevin, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I need to go over to the HK booth and see the reintroduction of the MP5K. I want to
somebody go handle the FK Bruno. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Let me guess. HK is going to weld it up so you can't even put a SBR stock on it. They so screwed up. They relaunched the MP5 and it was such a nightmare.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about the 458 hammer round yet?
No.
I'm so on the fence.
I see there's some new Glock 80% frames coming out.
For the Glock 43, I believe.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
From the Glock store?
Yeah.
No, the best thing I've seen so far, you guys are familiar with the X Products can launcher, the can cannon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you see that they make a grappling hook for it, which has been out for a while? Now this year they're going to launch a SHOT Show, a winch that you can attach to yourself. Fire the grappling hook up on a building and winch yourself up a building.
You can become Batman, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman. Yeah.
I saw that's going to be released, and I gotta have one. And you're gonna see me die probably on video.
Exactly. Lots of people are gonna die because of this.
I'm gonna be winching myself on top of every building in town.
I think every man is gonna try to do this just to live
Something
out.
wanted to
Jail cell, and they'll say, "So what are you in for?" I winch myself to the top of a building downtown.
Yeah. Impersonating Batman without a license.
Shut up and bend over and grab the soap. All right.
Okay, Kevin. What things do you want to see at SHOT Show? You're actually going.
I'm interested in seeing FN's new SCAR collection. But I know they're just pistols now, but I still want to go see them.
Aren't those for law enforcement only?
I haven't heard that. I hope not.
I think they've got a bunch of SBRs, new FN SBRs, and things like that are just law enforcement. No,
that would be sad. I didn't read that in the release.
Okay.
Subcompact carbine.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
I want to see them. I'm interested in seeing. I just want to see it. I do want to go see the 19X. And what I'm more interested in with the 19X is I want to watch the Glock fanboys fight for it. Like, I just
is the 19X like the baby Jesus, and everyone has to go over to the manger and take a look at it?
It's not really. I just want to see the people like defend it. Like, I just want to.
Are you bringing frankincense and myrrh?
I'm just saying. I just want to check it out. I want to see how people are acting. Interested in that. I am interested in that high point 10mm carbine. Yes, I have to go see that thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I predict that will be the hottest thing at SHOT Show. High point.
No. I want one.
Yeah, me too. I want one too.
Yeah. Now
it's hot. I think I'm gonna buy one.
I'm not up on this. I'm scrolling to this website here, and I see the Beretta APX RDO. Isn't that the same concept as a Glock? Short slide, long grip.
Yeah, it could be.
I didn't even see that one.
It's in 45 ACP.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Well, that's
think
new. If it's APX and 45, that's new just in and of itself.
Yeah. Well.
So now, did you, Mac? You're into CZs. Did you see the new stuff that's coming out from CZ?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh man, one of my friends sent me a picture. He somehow got his hands on one of the new Shadow compacts.
I'm
glad I have 2 good kidneys because I'm about to have one.
Well, it looks like, and then they've also they've got like a little shortened version of the Scorpion. There's a whole bunch of, or is it a pistol?
Yeah, they shortened the barrel, put a HB Industries rail on it. You know, Omar, the Scorpion King here at the shop, he already did that. And they may have gotten the idea from him because he has done more R&D work with the Scorpion. It's amazing. I have to get him out and
that's right. He needs one of my stocks. That's
I think Walter's supposed to be supplying Omar. Let me give the plug for Omar.
Stocks,
yeah. When is Omar getting this stock, Walter? Since he's the Scorpion King.
Well, actually, the first batch of the stocks are pretty much sold. We got to make some more parts. So.
Oh, okay. Make sure you remember Omar though.
Yeah, I will. I'll get it to him.
Yeah.
We'll make a video with it because his gun is crazy, man. He has modded that thing out. It looks good. It's all flat dark.
Is it paperwork pistol SBR?
It's now an SBR. It was had an SB brace on it for a long time. He got his Form 1 back. Now it's a straight up SBR.
All right, I'll get you good stuff.
Yeah, I would say this to you, Walter. If you were going to send me one, send it to Omar first.
Okay.
And let Mac and Omar do a video on it.
Every day I walk past Omar, he shows me. He carries the gun around with him everywhere in the store, and he always he goes, "Hey man, when are we gonna do a Scorpion video?" I'm like, "We just did one a month ago. Let's give it some time."
I tell you what, the Scorpion fanboys are serious fanboys. I mean, they're modifying and changing and doing, and it's like.
Yeah. What's that company that does all those like the grips and stuff like that? Yeti Works. Yeah. Those guys have some nice things out there for Scorpions.
Speaking of the CZ,
crazy is CZ no sooner announced the Scorpion, and like all these companies started making accessories for it before they even sold 1,000 guns. Usually companies wait until there's 40,000 guns in circulation so they know there's a market for their aftermarket accessories. The Scorpion defied that traditional industry logic, and as soon as it hit the market, man, they just knew it was going to be a hit given its price point and the fact it had the CZ name on it was going to have quality, and everybody started making stuff for that gun. It's awesome. It's one of the most modular 9mm pistol carbines on the market.
Newsflash from the CEO. She says we have some CZ butt stock still.
So. Oh, you do? Okay, so get one too.
Well, what's been selling fast is the version for the tail hook. The regular stocks have been selling slower. So
no, Omar's got a SBR. You said
he's got an SBR.
Yeah.
I'll get him one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we can still put. I mean, it's SBR. We can still put tail hooks and stuff on them. We can do whatever we want to it now that it's SBR. Except make it machine gun.
What's up with the CZ P10C? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they got the new. We saw a threaded suppressor height sight gun that was all black come into the shop, and that's weird because CZ usually does gray with the suppressor. Threaded barrels and suppressor height sight guns. I've seen the pictures of the gray ones out there, but we got 2 black ones in. I held one back for video, and then we're going to auction it off to a fan that wants to, you know.
And the price is, the MSRP is like $550. That's cheap.
Oh yeah, it is cheap. That's the beautiful thing about CZ is they're not expensive, man. It's such a quality gun for the amount of money they ask.
Yeah. How's yours holding up, Mac? I'm assuming it's doing well.
My P10C is doing killer, man. I love the thing. I want to get the suppressor gun, but we have to sell it. My business partner constantly reminds me we're in the business of selling guns, not collecting them.
Not hoarding guns, yes.
Yeah. We got two in, and I have to sell them both. But I'm gonna make a video with one, show it off, and then since it'll be used, it'll be a video gun, and I'll say, you know, here's the serial number. I'll show it in video, then we'll put it up on the Copper Custom auction site, and then fans can have at it, and they can have the actual video gun.
Yeah, that's cool. So let me just say this about the Scorpion before I forget, and someone's gonna, you know, hold me for this one. The only thing the Scorpion's missing is it should be Glock magazine compatible.
No.
Okay, I'm out. Thanks.
No. You lose that. Everything.
No support. No. We looked into
it. Scorpion is $19, man.
Yeah,
that's why you don't see it happen.
Yeah, no, the magazines are too cheap. I have a crap ton of them myself.
You got to have the style, man. You got to have that. It's got to look like a sub gun, or you're going to lose a lot of people.
Yeah. So Mac,
except the people that will buy the 19X.
Well,
they'll buy them.
Of course. Yeah. So Mac, are you going to SHOT Show?
No, I'd rather not ever go again. So no, I'm every year I say I'm not going. This year I'm definitely not going.
Oh, okay.
So
when we hang out at SHOT Show, is always fun.
It is fun. It's just. I don't enjoy Vegas, and the amount of money I spend to get there, you know, hotels and food's outrageously expensive. I don't get that money back. From a business sense, this makes no sense for me.
Is it because you've had to like pick me up and drive me out to media day and stuff like that? Is that next time?
I'm about ready to send you to collections because you haven't paid that bill.
So you know what's ironic?
Do you remember when we were sitting outside, we're getting ready to pick you and Lola up, and me and Aaron were sitting in that big ass SUV, and we were listening to Elton John, Yellow Brick Road, and there were those guys standing next to the wall staring at us like they wanted to kill us. We had like Yellow Brick Road turned way up. They were like dancing in the car, you know. We thought it was so funny.
Yeah. So you know what's, and this I want to ask you like what you think is cool at SHOT Show, but first I just want to say that it's ironic. I thought about this in the beginning. It's ironic that really our favorite show is the NRA show for pretty much.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that again about you guys busting the NRA's balls so hard, and then everybody goes to NRA. So
yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to be. I have a T-shirt that says NRA, not real activists. I'm going to sell them at cost a month before the show, and then everybody I see at the NRA, I'm going to give them a free Mac patch. I'm going to bring like 1,000 Mac patches.
Oh, I'm buying one. I got it. I'm going to buy one of those shirts. If Sam from Forge for Freedom is watching, I'm buying one. Yeah.
So, it's already on Forge for Freedom.
If you wear it, you get a patch. Is that the?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go to Forge from Freedom, and it's in the military arms
Mac collection. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you'll see it. It says, you know, NRA in big red letters and white letters, not real activists. And we're going to sell them at cost for the month leading up to the show. And I'm going to go to the show wearing mine, and everybody I see wearing that shirt gets a free patch. And I just want the NRA to know that we're not going to put up with their nonsense anymore.
Awesome. You know what I'm going to do too at that show? I could probably print more of these. If I see anyone wearing those Max NRA patch, check that out.
Are you going to make me do that too?
Yep, that's the new Hank.
We should all do it, man. Let's send a loud and clear message, NRA.
If you wear that shirt and I see you, I'll give you one of these.
I can bring some patches if I go to NRA.
So there you go. You will get. This is not even out. No one has these patches yet.
Hey,
no
what
one.
About me?
Babyface has one. That's it. Yeah, I'll hook you up, Mac. Don't worry about it.
I don't have one either.
Walter, I'm not hooking you up. Kevin, definitely not hooking you up.
I guess you're not the SBR then, are you?
No, if you catch me at SHOT Show, if you catch me outside at SHOT Show,
the nice thing about having a beard, it's like a patch panel, man.
Yeah.
So I can wear patches.
Yeah, there you go. That's the patch right there. That's the patch. There you go.
You know what it is? It's the you suck.
You suck. Yeah.
Yeah. Also
that's
available.
A little gold coin we get when we get demonetized on our videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of which, did we talk about this? I don't know. I don't think we talked about this on air. I mean, YouTube came out with new rules that are going into effect, I think, in February. Did you see that, Mac?
Yeah, I actually just got BBTV just sent me, which is my network. They just sent me a breakdown on it, and I can read it to you right now if you want to hear it.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, let's hear about that.
Here's what's changing. In April 2017, YouTube set the YPP, which is a YouTube Partnership Program, eligibility requirement of 10,000 lifetime views. Yesterday, YouTube announced an update to the criteria for their YPP eligibility threshold, which requires a channel to have an accumulated 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and have at least 1,000 subscribers. Channels that are already part of the partnership program that do not meet this criteria will lose the ability to monetize once the changes become active or effective February 20th to allow for a 30-day grace period. Once effective, after a creator reaches 1,000 subs or 4,000 watch hours, they'll automatically be reevaluated under strict criteria to ensure they comply with YouTube's policies. Now, here's what's funny about that, man. I've been with YouTube for 10 years now this year, and I remember applying to the partnership program. It was something you had to struggle to get into. No videos monetized. They looked at your content, how regularly you posted. Was it good content? You know, did it have good lighting, good audio, and did you regularly post? And then they would say, you've been accepted. They sent you a little plaque saying you are a YouTube partner. A little piece of paper. You know, it was a big deal. And then you got ads on your videos. And that's when we all had the high-paying pre-roll ads, all the movie trailers and all the Chevy commercials. And then YouTube decided one day, you know what? Everybody with an iPhone and a stupid cat video can have a Chevy commercial. And all of us that did this professionally or tried to, you know, make quality content like we all here try to do, and really, you know, YouTube's original promise was you build your own audience and you can make a career out of this. You can be a content creator. You can have your own television show, basically. All you have to do is the hard work, and we'll give you the platform. But then they took all of our money away. But I'll guarantee you, even with these new guidelines, even though you see ads playing on my videos, and this is what kills me, my earnings are still down 70% or more.
Yeah.
I still see ads playing all the time. They're just
they demonetize a lot of my videos and still run ads on it.
Oh yeah, they're still doing it. So like I have over 700 and some videos. What these clowns do is they'll go back 5 years and demonetize a whole bunch of videos. You don't even know are demonetized anymore. You have to filter it and look, and all of a sudden you'll see 100 videos popped up that are no longer monetized.
Yeah.
And they're constantly going through demonetizing us. I also, my father-in-law and my cameraman and hundreds of my viewers have emailed me saying that they just get unsubscribed from my channel. They don't do anything. One day they stop getting notifications and they look and they have to go back and resubscribe to my channel. And YouTube says it doesn't happen. I said, really?
No, it happens all the time.
That means my father-in-law and my cameraman are lying to me.
Yeah.
So YouTube is constantly messing with us. They're constantly setting their algorithms to squash us in search. They're trying to take our money away. They're striking our accounts. I mean, all the stupid stuff. Like you got an account strike for having a live stream. I got an account strike for a political commentary video, and Such got an account strike because he was talking about Magpul furniture. Even Ian over at Forgotten Weapons, who talks about 100-year-old outdated guns you can't even own, got an account strike.
Yeah.
They're doing everything they can to run us off.
Yeah.
They don't want us here. Yeah. And I'm not leaving until they finally kick me off. But
but we're also not sitting idly by.
Nope.
You know,
I've been given 4 account strikes, and I've had all 4 lifted. And that's why I tell people, don't let those stand. Go through the appeals process. Once you hit 500,000 subscribers, you're in a different group. They assign a YouTube rep to you. So I actually have a rep that I can blow up his phone in his inbox. And I also belong to a network. If you're below 500,000 and you don't have a YouTube rep, join a network, a good network that doesn't steal a bunch of money from you, and they will go to bat for you in case you do get account strikes. Like James Yeager, when he got his account strikes, he didn't belong to an MCN, which is a network. And had he gotten that first account strike, he just let him stand. He just figured, oh, in 30 days it goes away. But if you get 3 of them in 30 days, which he did, they ban you forever.
Yeah.
Somehow he got let back on, but they deleted his entire library of videos.
Yeah. I don't want to do those MCN things because they do want a whole bunch of money, which I'm already not making money from there. So, you know, it's like a weird.
I understand that, but I've been a part of a network now for over 6 years, and the only reason is because I didn't have a voice with YouTube when they were messing with me and messing with my monetization and messing with, you know, what happens is, and I actually saw this happen. So like Mom Demand Actions, their Facebook page, they'll target gun channels. And they'll say, go to this gun channel and report this video. And they'll all mash the report button, and that automatically triggers a bot to strike the account and remove the video. And then you have to get a person to go look at it and say, oh, this doesn't violate YouTube policies, and then they'll unstrike the video and re-release it. But if you don't have a voice, if you can't go to YouTube and say, hey, this was done unfairly, I'm being targeted by an activist group, you wind up getting your account yanked. You get, you know, kicked off. People don't even remember this probably, but Hickok got kicked off YouTube twice.
Yeah, in like less than a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what his offense was? Because he linked to Bud's gun shop. You know, those evil guns that are constitutionally protected. Yeah, it's against YouTube policy to link to a website that sells constitutionally protected items. Now, you can link to a website that sells condoms or marijuana. That's not a problem, or even pornography.
It's a felony.
But if you link to a website that sells guns, we can have none of that.
Yeah, you can link to an abortion group, whatever.
Oh yeah,
whatever you want. It's all good. Except guns, man. That's terrible. Okay, so I know we've been doing it for 2 hours. The final question to you, Mac, and then I'll let anyone make comments that wants to. You're not going to SHOT Show, but what do you think is going to be cool that we should be looking at? I know, you know, you're like one of the super cool dudes. You probably already have some.
I
of
am
these
not
things.
a super cool dude, man. I'm just like anybody else on YouTube, guys. I'm nothing special. But what the SHOT Show, just, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what other people post about. I've read the prediction blogs, and you know, we've all seen what we think is going to show up. I don't know what the next big thing is going to be. I do know that what's kind of interesting in this market where a lot of gun shops and manufacturers are struggling, they're laying off. You know, Federal laid off hundreds of employees. Daniel's Defense laid off hundreds of employees.
Yeah, Silence and Code, the top guys stepped down. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it took long enough. I mean, the guy's been running them into the hole for the last 5 years. But anyway, you know, everybody's laying off, but the big dogs like Ruger and Vista Outdoors, which owns like 56 brands, dude, they're launching a whole bunch of cool stuff like the 224 Valkyrie, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to see some of the bigger companies really going full board. The FNs and the you know, Vista Outdoor Group, they got a whole bunch of stuff they're going to launch, and they've been pretty tight-lipped about it. So I'm kind of curious to see what they have.
Okay, cool. What do you, and one quick thing, have you heard of the Reformation that's coming out from Franklin Armory?
You know what, man? I don't know what to think of that. I mean, everybody's speculating what it is. You know, I don't even know if it has ATF approval. I haven't seen an approval letter because they're keeping it under wraps. But, you know, in my mind, it's one of two things. It's a smooth bore gun that has no rifling, or it's a slightly out of round barrel that twists, that imparts a spin on the bullet that the ATF doesn't consider a rifling, or it's a smooth bore that fires something like a saboted slug, like a projectile that has a rifling on the projectile through a smooth bore.
That's interesting.
But everybody's speculating.
Yeah, I heard it might be 300 blackouts, which I don't know how that would be.
Yeah, it's still an SBR. The only way they can make it not an SBR and actually have a barrel that length is to make it a smooth bore.
Can you, on the muzzle device, can you put a twist? Yeah, you can't put any kind of twist on the muzzle device. I mean, I'm not.
No. Yeah. No. Just like that Origin I showed you guys, that's not an NFA item. That's a firearm. It fits in between a class that's undefined. Okay. So if that gun was never manufactured as a pistol or a rifle, and it was manufactured as a firearm, and it has a smooth bore, it slips through the cracks just like the Origin 12 does.
Okay.
You heard it here first. It's going to be a muzzle loader, black powder.
Nope.
Cole's going to reintroduce.
Sure. I don't think so. All right, Babyface. You know, what do you want to? I know you weren't feeling good. That's why we didn't see you sometime this week. So you want to address that real quick because some people were asking about it.
No. I ate something funky on Monday and my belly was upset. Today I just took a nap after work, and then when I looked at my watch, I was like, "Oh shit, I got to be on the podcast."
We're glad you made it.
There's a dirty joke lurking in there somewhere, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Okay. So anything that you we're not going to see. This is going to be our last show until we come back from SHOT Show, guys. Yep. So Lola wants to make sure that you guys are subscribed and you hit the alert bell and all that kind of stuff.
Give us some good coverage, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be bugging you guys constantly to see what's going on. So
yeah, Hank, anything cool, man? Text me. I'd love to see it. You know, for those of you guys going, man, keep me in the loop. I'm interested to see what you guys find out.
Okay, awesome. We'll do that. And while we're out there, if there's something that you hear of that maybe we could be missing, let me know and I'll go check it out for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Be happy to do that. Okay, Kevin. Any last words?
I love it.
From the Glock man.
Yeah, man. I'm not betting anymore. This is why I don't waste money, because I would take it real bad. But no, I just shutting down, getting ready to travel to SHOT. So I'm gonna probably do a couple other live streams. But I will say one good thing that happened to me. I like to say, put positive energy in the air. Someone called me and actually volunteered to do a fundraiser for Aiming for the Truth. Awesome. So all I have to do is show up, and they're going to do all the work.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's a shooter club. So big shout out to Zulu Shooters Club in St. Louis. They're going to put on an event to raise money for Aiming for the Truth, which we're going to do to adopt a classroom toward the end of the year and send kids off with good summer stuff. So that's going to be fun.
Hey, Hank.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Shoot me Kevin's contact information and share mine with him. Because I have family in Kansas, so when I go through, I'd love to connect with you, man, and maybe we could do a video and promote what you're doing. I'd love to do that.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's great. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely. And actually, I'll be in Chicago, so when I'm up there, I'll probably reach out to you.
Look me up, please. Yeah, you're 40 minutes away or less, and if you need a ride, man, I'll come pick you up from the airport. So.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
He'll roll up there in a big, massive SUV.
No, man, it'll be in a Jeep. That's what I drive. You know what's funny, man? How I get those big vehicles is a fan of the channel actually owns an Enterprise franchise, and he always hooks me up.
Oh,
so like
really?
that big old thing I rolled down to Iraq veterans shoot in that had like it keeps you in the lane and had the butt vibrating seats.
It was insane.
All the crazy electronics. I paid $300 for that thing for the week.
You mean the thing that you were doing like 150 on the highway?
Oh, I was wound up, dude. I was wound up. I was ready. I was ready to go to war, man. I was mad about gun laws. Yep. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so cool. I'll make sure I make that connection. Kevin, did you want to add anything before we switch to Walter?
Big shout out to Mac. I appreciate that. Humbled by it. Outside of the Aiming for the Truth thing, remember, guys, if you want to help out with the Aiming for the Truth event, remember we got 6 cities geared up to go to this year to enrich lives and get people into understanding what freedom is. So GoFundMe / Aiming for the Truth, Patreon / NOC Firearms, and remember all that stuff is all used to help somebody else's life out. I don't hoard that money. You know me. You watch anything when companies send me stuff, I normally find a reason to auction and then give it away. So anything that the consumer can do to help will be awesome. Other than that, look forward to a SHOT. If you guys want to see something, let me know. I'm going to be walking around looking at various cool things, but let me know what you want to see. And I'm just looking forward to getting out there, man, shaking hands and kissing kids and having a good time. I don't know if they'll let me kiss babies.
Kevin, what's your Patreon again?
Patreon / NOC for no other choice, NOC Firearms.
Okay, no other choice. Gotcha. All right, you just got a new Patreon.
Awesome. Oh, man, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you from everyone, Mac. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's big thanks. Yeah. And so Hank, that means Hank, you actually were the official first YouTube celeb to do it. Mac second.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
And that's all that's coming up for me. And I just encourage everybody to keep interacting, man. I think that we'll all be out there. We'll be having fun. If you want to see me, obviously do something, harass Hank, please let me know. If you want to see what I'm going to steal from Walt's booth,
good luck with that.
No, I'm gonna not something, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna steal something. But no, that's it for me, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Walter, what's going on? Tell folks you're going to be at SHOT Show. You have a booth.
Yeah.
Tell us where the booth is and what you're getting up to.
20613. That's in the law enforcement ballroom up in the main hall. Right around the corner from Gemtech and those guys. We're getting ready for SHOT. The new MP5K stock should be ready tomorrow, I think, hopefully.
Cool.
So that's something we're bringing to SHOT, plus the CZ stock and all our other stuff. So yeah, just getting ready for that.
Do the stocks come with MP5?
No.
You a funny boy.
Yeah. By the way, Mac, if there's anything that Safety Harbor makes, man, that you're interested in, I'll try to connect you with Walter also.
I'll get you that CZ stuff here quick out before we go to SHOT.
Hey man, and I don't expect free stuff, dude. So you know, get on the phone, and I'm more than glad to at least cover costs, and I'm fine with buying dealer prices, whatever. Okay. I don't expect free stuff.
I'm not looking for any preferential treatment or nothing. So
well, trust me, you won't get it. The downside to getting it into my hands, if I don't like it, the whole world will know.
Don't call me asking about Mac because I can't help you.
That's why I don't ask for free stuff.
No, absolutely. And Mac, I think you're not going to be at the show, but you'll be there in spirit.
Be there in spirit, man. You'll have my spirit with you in a bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be in a briefcase, man, like in a Pulp Fiction. I'll be in that golden light in the briefcase.
Yeah, I need to get one of those shirts from. I need to get one of the shirts in your collection, the one where you have no beard. That's what I need right there.
Oh, that picture, it's gone. The one with me from high school with the AK. It says, "Who needs a girlfriend when you have an AK?" Yeah,
that's not there anymore. Damn it.
Nope. I only did that for a short time. And it ended Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, we need to start a.
I'll get you one. Just reach out to Sam. He'll print one up for you, man.
Yeah, I'll get that. Also, guys, before I go, I want to thank everyone here that's in the chat, hanging out with us. Everyone that joined us. I want to remind you to subscribe because this is where we're going to be doing the live videos going forward until we get everything. I think even when we get stuff worked out, I'm just going to keep doing the live videos over here just to, stay out of trouble. And there's no point in making everyone subscribe here and we don't do something. So we are going to do stuff on Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded to keep everyone happy that's subscribed to us. So I want to thank you guys for that. I want to thank everyone that supports the channel. Safety Harbor Firearms, Andrew's Custom Leather, of course, Safety Harbor, that's Walter right there. Yeah. Andrew's Custom Leather, Big Daddy Guns. And if you're going to be at SHOT Show, we're going to be doing, there's going to be a big Barnauls hangout because Barnauls is rolling out something. So you might have seen little stuff leaking on the internet.
It's so cool, man. I can't wait to talk about it. It's so cool. It's the coolest thing. That will be the coolest thing at SHOT Show, but we just can't talk about it.
Yeah. We can't really talk about it. My cousin Pookie Love does know a lot about this. If anyone who's seen any of the stuff that's leaking out, and Pookie Love will also be at SHOT Show. And if you go to the Barnauls meetup, you're probably going to meet Pookie Love over there, as well as Lemon Squeezy. That's Lola's cousin, Lemon Squeezy.
And by the way, that's at Treasure Island at Gillies.
Okay. Treasure Island. Okay, yes, that's where I forgot what day it's going to be because
it's on the 24th.
Okay, thank you, Walter. I'm sensing you're going to be there.
My batteries on my phone will be fully charged.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So thanks a lot. That's it. We're going to see you when we get back from SHOT Show. We are going to do things. Follow us on social media. All of us out there: Military Arms Channel, Safety Harbor Firearms, NLC Firearms, and even Babyface P. He's got some social media. Even though he's not there, you can get in touch with him, and he'll get in touch with me if there's something that you want to know about.
Or I may just troll you. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the two will happen.
Yeah, he'll troll you. All right, guys. Go ahead, Mac. What's up?
I was just saying, once he gets that black powder pistol working, we're all in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Then you're in trouble. All right. We're out of here. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, people.
Bye.